Yeah, we about to go live.
That's all right. You ain't slow down.
Act like you got us skate. 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 Go live, I'm finna go live. 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 Go live, I'm finna go live.
What's up? What's up? What's up with everybody in the building? As always, let me know everything look good, sound good. Already got 20 in the chat. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Big shout out to Fresh. Is there any news from the transfer portal? I haven't heard any, to be honest. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday, man. Brandon Po' Boy Gallon in the building. Fresh says, yes, my dance song, James Brown move. I like you got on some skates. We got an intro. Look at that. Bring it, coach. We're going to bring it today, man. We got a very interesting show. Like I said, I need a thumbs up real quick in the building. Everything looks good, sounds good. So we could get this thing rocking and rolling. And we can have this thing broken. Demetrius Abrams said, what's up, Coach Hayes? How you doing? All right. Here we go, man. B-Harp75. You got the peace sign, the U, and the love. I'm loving it. All right. Frank Forden said, Coach Hayes got the best intro in the business. I appreciate it. I'm going to do an upgrade to that thing here in a little bit, maybe before the summer comes in. Might be the same song, different video, different graphics, but we'll check it out and see. You got to be careful on YouTube, man, because they would definitely hit you with a copyright strike. All right. Warren, man, what's up with you, man? Best coach, best show, best teacher, Coach Hayes. I appreciate that. Means a lot. Clem Curry, Boomer Sooner. I see you, Coach. Hey, Boomer Sooners, they in the news, boy. I hear a lot of good things coming out of it. You guys lost a lot, but you guys gained a lot at the same time, man. A lot of, Caleb Williams decided to leave. Mario Williams decided to leave. But you guys got some ballers out there. We're going to start breaking these things back down, making it happen. I need a thumbs up, make sure everything sounds good, though. Come on, give me a thumbs up real quick so we can get this thing rocking and rolling. Also, we're supposed to have a guest appearance from my homeboy V12, so we're going to find out if V12 going to pop on in this thing. We'll see. We'll definitely see. All right. I guess everything sounds good. You guys rocking and rolling. Let's make it happen. So anyway, 35 people in the building. We're here to talk about a little spring ball. I'll probably open up the phone lines, talk about it. Been watching some of the other YouTubers out there who actually get an opportunity to go to the camp and go to the practices. Of course, Footballville, Streeter from Footballville and X. And those guys do a great job. I've been watching Inside the U, Kane Sports, because unfortunately, I'm not there to watch it myself. So I got to get my info from somewhere else. So anyway, Clem Curry. All right, here we go. J.R. Rivera, appreciate you. All right, here we go. Michael says he's repping the U in the 225. I don't know what the 225 is, but it doesn't matter where it is. You repping the U, that's all that counts. So anyway, spring ball, man, has been going along. Of course, Mario Cristobal is in the news. Doing big things. He had I guess they had their first little scrimmage. And I tell you, spring works fast. They throw a lot of things against the wall, see what sticks, and then starts peeling things back. There we go. Producer in the building. She says, sorry that she late. Well, I tell you, boy. Hi, everybody. What's going on, Hazenella? But anyway, so Mario Cristobal did a interview with, I believe it was Inside the U or Kane's All Access. I'm not sure which one. But he was talking about practice, talking about getting on guys when things not going right. The running game looked pretty good, and it kind of stalled out a little bit. He got to get on him, get back in there, but defense won the day, in essence. And that typically happens, right? Defense typically wins the day when it comes to brand new everything, brand new scheme, brand new philosophy, brand new, because the chemistry is easier to build, right? Especially when you're building a defense, right? All defenses pretty much have the same foundation, I guess the right way to say it. The things that make it different are the little nuances, right? Where you want people to be, where you want them to line up, the terminology, that kind of stuff. Offensively, it's a lot different. A lot of things have to happen in order for people to be successful. The snap has to be right. Quarterback has to make the right read, has to make the right throw. That's on the passing side. On the running side, right? The running back has to see the hole. The blocking has to be right. Do they know it's an odd or even from? I mean, there's so many different variables when it comes to that. So it does take offense a little bit of time to gel and make it happen. And that's why I said in a previous show, when somebody got, I don't want to say they got mad, but they thought I was soft when coach ain't soft at all, but they tried to say I was soft when I said make the scheme easy. We were talking about scheme, and I think it was on the Coach Me Coach podcast, and I said make the scheme easy, right? So the kids can pick it up, or the players can pick it up relatively easy, and let their athleticism shine. Let that be the biggest point, and then you can grow into building a more intricate offense and defense. Real quick before we get started, right here, Mr. Alex Tabio is our sponsor for the day. I want to get at least 50 people in before I said it, and we do. So Mr. Alex Tabio from Certified Home Loans sponsors this show. He does everything when it comes to VA loans, FHA loans, first-time home buyer, all of those different programs. He has you covered in the state of Florida. But he also has you covered if you're an entrepreneur, people who deal with cash. A lot of people have cash businesses where, for example, I always bring this up, people who do lawn care maintenance, people who are barbers or hair salons, where they deal in a lot of cash, and so therefore they don't necessarily have a pay stub. So with that being said, he has a very aggressive programs for that. Give him a call. It's free, 305-205-1697. All the information is in the description below, his email, all of that. And he's a big Hurricane fan. So he may look out for you even more. He already going to look out for you, but even more because you're a Cane fan as well. And tell him Coach Hayes sent you. He might do a little bit more of that. But with all that being said, I may open up the phone lines. I want to talk about this a little bit. I'm waiting for, I think my dog Vitor will come on. But I have another very exciting guest that's going to come on. His name is Juan Proano. And he's going to talk about NIL deals. This is something that a lot of people have been talking about, but he's going to try and break down the NIL deals, the pros and the cons, the good things about them, the bad things about them, and maybe some of the things that players don't know, or even the fan base doesn't really know when it comes to these NIL deals and what these players are really getting themselves into. A lot of these players are going into these things blindly, as well as branding yourself, how to brand yourself in this concept. So he'll be coming on around the 7:15-ish mark. But until then, we got about 30 minutes. Let's take a couple phone calls. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Let's take a couple phone calls and let's hear from the fans, and let's talk about spring ball, the things that I saw so far, some of the clips. I know they've been very strict on how people video the practices and so forth. And so we don't get to see a lot unless you're there. All right. We know there's been a lot of people at practice, from EJ, from Edrin James to Warren Sapp has been there. Trick Daddy was in the building. You name it, they've probably been there already. So Mario Cristobal is building a great atmosphere when it comes to Miami Hurricane football. So the phone number is up, 321-328-8235. Go ahead and give us a call. Let's talk about spring ball, what's coming up. Football is kind of slow right now. Spring is coming around and everything else, and we'll talk about it. But waiting to hear you guys talk on it. What's your take on it? Maybe some of your predictions. Coach is not giving his season prediction, but I love to hear you guys' prediction on this deal. And also, guess what? The 2-year anniversary is coming up tomorrow. So we may do a show on that. 2 years, guys. We've been at this since August 4th of 2020. It is now August 3rd of 2022. So we're literally a day away from our 2-year anniversary here on the channel with over 21,000 subscribers in 2 years' time. Awesome. Already got a call coming in. 954 area code. Caller, talk to us. Give us your name and where you calling from.
Glad to be the first one out the gate. It's Warren. How you doing, buddy?
Warren, what's up, man? I love that you're the first one out the gate, man. Talk to me.
Listen, I missed a couple of your shows last week, and I tried to call in because, when the slapping thing, I loved it, and I completely 1,000% agree with you. This is just a train wreck gone bad. So
you talking about the Will Smith, anyway, the slap heard across the world? Yep.
Yeah. Listen, this is a travesty, and I'm beginning to believe that honestly it was all staged just for publicity for all parties involved.
Wow.
So, anyways, no, I mean, look at the facts. Look. Yeah. But that's not why I called. So,
all right, talk to me, Warren. What's up, man? What's on your mind?
Actually, I'm just, how do I say this? Hang on, I'm looking for something. I'm at Home Depot right now. So,
hold on, Warren, before you get started.
Yeah.
Before you get started, We got people in Home Depot shopping, watching Coach Hayes football. I'm loving it,
got
Warren.
That right.
That's why you the best, man. Go ahead, call me back. Go ahead and find your toilet kits that you need. You know, you got to fill out that honeydew list and call me back, man.
All right, bud. Bye.
Oh, good. I love it, man. We got people going down the aisles of Home Depot calling in the Coach Hayes football because they want to get on. Anyway, guys, go ahead and call in. I see an 850. Go ahead and give us another call. 850 is calling in the Panhandle. I believe I know who that is, but we'll check it out and see. But anyway, he brought up the slap around the world. I don't really want to talk about it here on this platform so far as what we're saying, but yeah, guys, go check it out. We did like a 3-hour podcast. Myself, V12, Streeter even came on there, and we had some fun with that, man. We had a lot of fun talking about that as everybody else did. So I figured, hey, why Coach Hayes can't talk about the slap heard around the world? But let's go ahead and jump on to our caller. Currently have 80 in the building. Let's have at least 80 likes. Caller, talk to us, 850 area code.
Yo, what's up, Coach Hayes? It's Chris King for life, man. What's good with you, brother?
What's going on with you, man? I'm good, man. I'm good. Talk to me.
Man, cooler, man. Hey, just tuned into the show. I ain't getting no notification or nothing, but I was like, man, you know what? Let me see if Coach Hayes is on. Because I got you subscribed and everything, but I wanted to see what was going on, see if I could have some knowledge kicked to me on this Sunday. And I never disappoint, brother. So I'm here, man, to see what you got to say, man, and call in and give my opinions on some stuff, man.
All right, I appreciate that. And you know what's funny? I've been hearing that ever since we kind of hit that 20,000 subscriber mark. A lot of people have been saying, and I don't know if this is a YouTube thing or something they strategically do, but a lot of people have been saying they haven't been getting their notifications, but that's why I try to keep a schedule. So right now in the off season, every Sunday at 6:30, unless something happens, even if I'm out of the country, out of town, I still try to go live from my phone. When I was out there in the woods hunting, I'm out there in the woods with the camo on. So I try to keep the schedule so people know. Just like the Cosby Show back in the day, you knew at 8 o'clock every Thursday it was coming on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Will do. I will remember that.
I love it, man. Well, like I said, you got anything you want to add or talk about in regards to spring practice, what Mario Cristobal is doing, what you've been hearing, anything like that?
Oh yeah, man. I've been hearing some good things. Been seeing a few things. You know, everything's been kind of secluded. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been kind of private on some things. You know, I'm watching a couple of things that Mr. Street and X been doing and stuff like that. And I like what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? I like the culture. Everything is better than what it was in the last regime. It's a lot more effort into it. You know, it's a lot more hunger. The heart is being shown more. And all the OGs is coming back there to pay homage because believe that they weren't even able to come out there at one point because Manny didn't even let nobody come out there, you know, or nothing like that. And I don't understand that. But now what's done is done. What's old is old. You know, it's been there, done that. We got a new regime. We got somebody that's been out there, been in them trenches, been out there on that field, sweat on that field, bled on that field. You know what I'm saying? It's a new regime. We expect the best. So he's going to put the best out there, you know, and nothing's going to be handed to you. You're going to have to go ahead and you're going to have to work. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about it, man. Getting back out there on Green Tree, actually seeing them boys out there working. I love it, man. I love it. Love to see the OGs pay homage. Love to see the current Kings pay homage to the OGs. And for us being fans for as long as we have, it's a breath of fresh air. Some clean air, too. Mint flavored, I think, too, Coach.
That boy say mint flavor air. I'm loving it, man. Some mint flavor air. Yeah. Hey, you know what? It's nothing like, you know, you take that peppermint and you can take that deep breath and you feel it going through. You know, remember those halls, the cough drop? You take one of those and you can feel everything clear up. Yeah. No, it is, man. It is a breath of fresh air. Everybody's positive. Even the players when I watch their press conferences, they have smiles on their face. Even if it was a hard day, they have smiles on their face. They enjoy talking about it. And, you know, it's something about the new car smell, right? When you get that new car, you know, that smell, you just feel good about yourself, man. So that's great. That's great. Somebody said winter fresh. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Yes, sir.
Roddy Briggs.
Yes, sir. I just love the direction of where we're going. But the thing is, it's like, to piggyback on what you've been saying for the longest kind of time, even when we got Mario Cristobal,
Mm-hmm.
You was talking about there was no expectations that you're not setting. I believe that as well. I'm setting that for myself because I'm not going to set expectations for you. I want you to set the expectations for yourself. And after that year 2, I expect more. You know what I'm saying? Year 3, I expect more than year 2. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. I'm not doing that to myself. Okay, yeah, the Canes is going to go out there and we going to win 10 games. We going to win 11 games. We going to go undefeated. We going for the national championship. Puppy breaks. Calm down. We just got a brand new coach. We got to have time. We got big name coaches, which is fine. But I want to see how they gel. I want to see the chemistry because without chemistry, I don't care what big name coach you got. It don't matter if it's Cristobal, Gaddis, Steele, Strong, any of them, Fields, whoever it is. It could be Saban for all I care. If you don't have the chemistry on the field, it's not going to work. You got to be able to touch your players, to talk to your players, coach your players. Like you said, have them type of players that'll sit there and run through a brick wall for you. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that type of, and I believe that that's the type of road that we're on, and we're going in that direction. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see it gel on the field. I want to see the first challenge because no disrespect to the first 2 games that we got, that's supposed to be a knockdown, drag out. You know, it ain't supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be, you know, like Central Connecticut, or it's supposed to be like, you know, that kind of stuff. It ain't supposed to be like Bethune-Cookman now. It ain't supposed to be like that, you know. But it's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? Sure. I'm sitting here. I almost had to go into rehab, coach. I almost had to go to rehab, man. I don't even drink. I almost had to go to rehab just for counseling for that. And that, no, for real, bro. I'm telling you, I'm keeping it all the way 100 times 10. You know what I'm saying? No, that cannot happen. I want to see what happens, and I want to see the type of ball of what we have against Texas A&M's, the Clemsons, you know, the teams like that. And they say we're going to drop games and stuff like that, and it's supposed to happen or whatever the case is. We may not. I just want to see what that first, you know, what happens when everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. I want to see, do you fall apart or do you punch him back in the mouth? That's what I want to see.
Now I'm gonna say something. Now I'm gonna say something I really appreciated from a coach's perspective that Mario Cristobal said in that presser. I don't know if you guys caught it. He said that he told the ref to give him the offense a 15-yard penalty because he wanted to see how they reacted. Were they gonna step up and just, you know, and fight back to get it, or were they gonna be like, hey, that's not fair? And I have to say this. People always say this about offensive line coaches. Offensive line coaches have a defensive mentality. But most other offensive coaches, like receivers, quarterbacks, running back coaches, you know, they got it's not fair. He was holding, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. But I appreciated it from a coach that he did that, because what he is doing is creating a culture and a mindset that, guess what? Everything ain't going to always be perfect. Everything is not going to always be fair. How do you overcome this adversity? And you do that, and you build those things in practice, right? And I guarantee they got the camera working to look at everybody's body language, look at everybody's demeanor, look at everybody's attitude when it comes to that. Because, like I said, he tells that referee, hey, throw that flag right now. He may give him a look, right? The old Jada look. I'm going to call it a Jada look. He give him that Jada look, and the ref know to throw the flag. You know what I'm saying? Hey, 15-yard, you know, whatever, or 10-yard holding, blah, 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 just to throw it off after a real big play to see how they bounce back. That is coaching, because those are real life events in football. A big play happens, 80-yard touchdown, and all of a sudden you see a late flag come out. You want to know where we saw that at? Guess where the Miami Hurricanes witnessed that very same scenario? Can you tell me?
I believe it might have been at a Florida State game or either the Virginia game.
How about a bigger stage than that? How about even a bigger stage than that? Put in the chat right quick before I know it's a little delay. Put in the chat right quick what stage, the biggest stage you could be on, we saw that very same scenario.
Oh, national championship, Ohio State, 02 at the Fiesta Bowl. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Make me have a flashback. Now I got to go ahead and I got them people on speed dial for coach. Man, I'll never forget that game. Coach, I was hurt. I was so defeated after that game. I'm a teenager. I was like, man, please, man. No, man.
But here's the funny thing. You as a fan was defeated. How did the players take it? Did they come back out and say, hey, it happens? Or did they just lay down? I'm not saying either one. But we're just saying what's beautiful about what Mario Cristobal did in that practice, at least he's doing it in the practice where now he can go in the team meeting, or especially when the come up, when everybody comes up and take a knee at the end of practice and discuss it instead of trying to discuss it with 30 seconds and you got to go ahead and call another play and keep the guy's head in it. Look, guys, you know what that conversation is like now on the sideline? Hey, we've been through this. You remember in that practice when Keyshawn Smith caught that long ball and we had a holding call and we had to come right back and we did the same thing again? He can now use that as a reference point instead of trying to calm him down. You know, great job by him from a coach, man. Great job by him. Great job by him.
And he's also building his leaders to also go through that same turmoil where he won't even have to go and tell those players that. He can also have his players in line that are the captains, that are the ones that are the leaders on that field to be like, you know what? Hey, guys, listen, we in this huddle. We out here. This happened. Hey, it's tough. We done been through this before. Remember, this is a regiment. This is this. This is that. Okay? Let's go back out here. Let's handle our business. Okay? It is what it is. It's a holding call. You know not to do it no more. Okay?
That's right. That's right.
Let's get out there. Let's go out there and fight. He may not. He's teaching and he's grooming. He's building strength in both character, physical ability, mental ability. You know what I'm saying? Getting their mindset right. If you can get your brain is the biggest muscle you got. And if you can whip that into shape to have what you're saying, coach, to get them to have their mindset on that, you ain't going to have nothing but another Bama and orange and green. Because that's what they do. They don't sit there and they don't be pouting and doing all that crap because Saban ain't having that.
Yeah, and here's the best part about it. Let me as the coach, let me argue the call. You got to go and perform, soldier. Yeah. Let the general go out there and argue with the zebras. Let me do the fighting. You know what I mean? Because I got more leeway than you have. They ain't gonna hit me too bad. But sometimes let me be the one that fight. Right. You go out there and perform and execute. But bro, as always, man, thank you so much. Get a couple more callers in here before we have our guest on. But man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that.
Oh, appreciate you having me, Coach.
Okay, anytime, man. Anytime. Go King. All right, great call right there. Big shout out to Falconer X for the 199 super sticker. That's the craziest picture I've ever seen. He says here, I hear the 15-yard penalty he told DBJ about post-practice. Exactly, man. That was big right there. I'm telling you, that was huge. Let me give him his love, and I'm going to go back to a comment that somebody put up about Troutman. All right, caller, talk to. I see 708. I think I know where this is now because this person has become a regular on the show. Talk to me.
What's up, Coach? It's the Shy.
Shy Town. What's up, man? Talk to me.
What's going on? I've missed most of the show. I've been on the road most of the day.
Okay.
But just give me a rundown of what we're talking about here.
We were just talking about spring ball. Right now, we're gonna have a guest on talking about NIL deals, but we were just talking about spring ball. Anything you guys want to bring, things that I kind of saw looking at some of those videos from other YouTubers and getting a chance to watch their practices. But go ahead.
All right, so the NIL deal, because that was a big talking point when I came up from high school. So, that was a main factor. And I always believe players should be able to make money. Because people would always say they get a free education, what more than need? I'm like, yeah, but when you're a college athlete, that's basically a full-time job, especially if you're trying to go professional or just take that next step in that career. So I was just like, all right, let's give them a salary for getting for playing, But also, I also felt like the university had an obligation. So, say if a player had a career-ending injury or an injury that would continue to nag them, that the university should be able to keep on paying for those medical bills depending on the severity of the injury. And if you got injured, you shouldn't be allowed to lose your scholarship. Because I have seen it tons of times where a player's been like, been injured and then lost their scholarship because the school was just like, well, you haven't been performing, and I get it, it's a business, but at the same time, those are also like if a 18-year-old kid is putting their future in your hands, like, and they get hurt providing that service for you, then they should be obligated to, be able to get that medical payment, or at least not even have to worry about how they're going to eat the next day when they're at school. So like, how do you feel about that?
No, I agree with you. So I'm going to go back to, let me go back to injuries. I do firmly believe that the university should take care of these young men as long as the injury, as long as their medical expenses, as long as it pertains to the injury in which they had at that university. You have guys, once they're out of school, now they have to carry on their own insurance, or say they don't have a job right away or whatever, those type of things. Yeah. So for example, if you get a job, you have insurance, you're fine. If you don't, say for example, you got to go in there and get your knee scoped out again and cleaned up, and you don't have a job at that time and you need the insurance, you should be able to bill the university for that. That's just my personal opinion when it comes to the injury piece. Here's the problem about monies. A lot of times when we look at these things, we think all universities have it. When we look at this, we only think Power 5 programs. But you have to remember, the NCAA governs all sport, right? Like D1, D2s, and so all programs can't afford to do those type of things. That's what the hard part is. That's why this is so hard. And that's why I believe in my eyes that the NIL, the NCAA kind of say, you know what, let the kids fend for themselves. Let's not put it on the university, because let's say, for example, even in some of our HBCUs, they can't afford the same training table that Miami can afford, or, Ohio State or Oregon or UCLA or whatever. You understand? And even not even just HBCUs, but smaller programs across the board, they can't afford that same type of stuff. And what a lot of people don't realize is most football programs are not in the black. When I say black, I'm talking accounting terms. They're not in the positive part of money. They're usually in the red. They usually lose money. Most football programs lose money than make money, right? Because of all of the expenses it takes. And it's just something they just write off, and they're willing to do that. Not every football program makes money. Just like every YouTuber don't make $1 million a show. Trust me, I'm here to know.
Yeah.
And that's my perfect segue into saying, Falcon X just said 121 chat, only 63 likes. Well, that's about 50%. Let me ask the chat something real quick, dog. Do Coach Hayes ever give y'all 50%? Do I ever give y'all 50%? I give y'all 100% when I come on here. Can I get 100% likes to match the doggone viewers? That's all I'm asking. See? And that's how it works. Now you go on other people's channel, right? They got 2-3 million views, 2-3 million subscribers. They get 30,000 likes in the first 10 minutes. And so I just try to make that comparison on a jokey side, but I try to make that comparison to say a lot of times when we look at things and we pop out solutions, we pop them out because we're looking at the heavy hitters and not the underdogs in that case. And so I don't know about a salary. You brought up salary. Again, that's another thing.
Yeah,
right?
Not talking about like 6-figure salary, but enough to where like the average, the low income American household is taking home about $50,000 to $60,000 a year. Let's just say that. Let's just keep it at average right there.
Okay, no problem. But how many of them can pay each player $50,000, $60,000? Some of their professors at their colleges not even making $50,000, $60,000. And I'm not talking again Power 5. They got it. We're talking Group of 5, Division 2s, lower Division 1 programs. You got some college coaches. The coach not even making 50 stacks. And so now when you do that, what happens? Now, as a player, which is still really happening in NIL, man, I'm not going over there to University X when I go over here to University A and get $60,000 a year, whereas they only making $10,000 a year. It's just like you with a job.
Yeah.
You're gonna do the same job. Would you go somewhere gonna pay you 60,000, or you go somewhere gonna pay you 10?
That also depends on the mentality, though, because I get what you're saying. And yes, in my current predicament, I would go for the higher salary. But say if I went to a company where they start me off at the lower rate than the other job, but the other job, their max cap, like the highest I can go, is lower than the cap for the lower paying job as long as I work hard at the other job. You know, so it's also a mentality like I'll take less money now in order to get paid more later.
Yeah, but you know what? You sound like you sound like a very mature young man, and you sound like a young man that may have, I don't know, you just sound very mature. You sound like you think things through. A lot of people are trying to get everything they can today. Because if that's the case, then why don't people take that opportunity, right? I'm gonna take the same point with you. Why don't people take that same thing and get their college degree instead of going to the NFL? Because they don't want to risk what? Injury. So I'm gonna get all I can right now. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna get all I can now in order to do what? Maximize my time. Because what if I do get hurt? Now you can't work that hard to get the higher money over time versus getting more money now. So it's a lot of things. I mean, we could go back and forth about this forever and a day, but there's a lot of variables when it comes to this. And like I said, our guest that's going to come on, we're going to just talk, nothing specific, but we're just going to have a good conversation about the pros and cons of NIL deals, these players. Some of them may be getting in over their head. Some of them may not be knowing what they're doing or anything else. So we're definitely going to talk about that, man. But I appreciate you coming through as always, bro.
Hey, of course. I got to start putting you on my schedule so that I'm able to sit down and actually have a conversation, which, you always catch me on the road.
Well, do me a favor. I'm on every Sunday in the off season, 6:30. On Sundays at 6:30, put me in your calendar, man. We here every Sunday at 6:30. Like I say, even if I'm out of town, I try to go live from my phone. I tell you, I was hunting. I go live with the camo on. I take time out for the Cane fans because they deserve it. So we definitely gonna make it happen. But
all right, definitely, Coach. Definitely.
Yeah. Appreciate you, man.
All right, looking forward to seeing you and your guest talk. All right, pleasure as always, Coach. I already hit that like button for you.
That's right. Appreciate it, dog. Yes, sir. All right, man. Real quick, man. Phil A. Guy said you still owe B20. I guess owe you 20. Do I owe you 20? Hey, catch me if you can. I'm the gingerbread, man. You got to come find me, Phil. I ain't got it. I could put something on it, though, but I ain't got it. Real quick, I want to bring this point up before I bring in my guest. Somebody brought this up way back here in the chat, and I've been trying to bring it up, but we had some callers call in. Hold on. Where did I see it? Here we go. Perfect. Stacy Hall says, Coach Hayes, did you hear that Troutman got arrested? Yes, I did hear that. And I heard the fact that it had something to do with a woman. I don't know if it was domestic violence. I don't know all the details, but yes, I did hear that he got arrested. And again, this is had a great conversation. I think I was talking to Street about this. A great conversation about these players having to understand their value, right? When they get arrested, they are on a hit list, meaning when that name pops up in the system, these reporters, these newspaper, these media outlets, they are looking for this. You are a celebrity, whether you believe it or not. You are a celebrity. And I understand emotions run high, right? You're talking about football players, they play off emotion, but they got to be smarter. I don't care if she was burning the house down, and I know I can say that hindsight 2020, I get it. But when they start acting up, hey, man, everybody in relationships, you're going to have fights, you're going to have disagreements, you're going to have fuss, I get it. But if it's getting that serious and you end up getting arrested behind it, this is what happens. And I think Mario Cristobal has a no nonsense or zero tolerance policy when it comes to these type of things, right? And so now, hopefully this young man didn't destroy his opportunities at the University of Miami. He may have to find somewhere to go. I may be speaking a little bit premature. I don't know the situation. I don't know the details. I don't know everything behind it. But this is what's starting to happen. You see it in the NFL. You see it in the NBA, pro sports. We just saw it. My man slaps the other comedian. People have been talking about it for a week straight. I mean, when emotion gets involved, bad things happen. And we have to learn how to control those types of emotions. And of course, it's easier said than done. Coach Hayes get mad too, believe that or not, man. But I don't have any calls coming in right now, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the phone lines off, and I'm going to get my guest in maybe a little bit earlier, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. We're going to talk about NILs. We got 148 in the building. Need to have at least 140 likes, right? Coach going to give you 100% of what he's got, I need 100% participation from you guys by hitting a free button. Gas costs $5 a gallon. The world going crazy, and Coach Hayes giving out free subscriptions and free likes. Come on, y'all. Can't get cheaper than free. So anyway, here's a perfect question leading in. Players get arrested, it will hurt their NIL prospects. I love that. So now that he brought that up, let me go ahead and bring in my guest for the evening, Mr. Juan Proano from Pro Sports Digital. Juan, how you doing, man?
Hey, Coach, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Great, man. So we were talking about NIL deals, and I'm going to let you go ahead and give your spiel about what it is, who you are, what you do, so the people know. But we're talking about NIL deals, and I know we're going to talk about maybe some of the pros and cons of that thing, as well as some branding. So talk to us. What is Pro Sports Digital?
Oh, yeah. So Pro Sports Digital focuses on, working with student athletes to help them maximize their NIL opportunities. That's it. At the end of the day, we help them with branding, communications, helping them really secure their name and their rights, and to help them better understand how to value their worth when they're talking to corporations, marketing companies, agencies that want to try and leverage their name in their marketing and advertising. So it's, NIL is kind of the Wild West right now. You hear a lot of crazy stories about kids signing, $1 million deals, right? $50,000 a month, $50,000 a season, if you will. But the fact of the matter is that, it's a brand new ball game in that context. And so, from a policy perspective, the NCAA still has a lot of work to do in regards to how they're going to actually police NIL deals. But certainly, from a student perspective, it's a tremendous opportunity. Great players before them never had this opportunity. And so it's really up to them to try and leverage it, as much as possible.
Right. Okay. So bringing up the name, image, and likeness, NIL, that's what it stands for people that don't know. In previous years, we knew that universities would sell jerseys. They would use their things on TV commercials to sell different things. And the players got nothing in return, whether financially or anything else. Now they're basically saying the NIL, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Juan, that the players are not tied to the university, meaning the university should not, by rule, have anything to do with their NIL deal. Is that correct?
That's right. Every state actually has its own set of laws on the books for the most part. For example, Alabama has its NIL law, Georgia has its NIL law, Florida has its NIL law, and some would even say that the Florida NIL law is really one of the most restrictive. But one of the things that it flat out states is that, clearly students have the ability now to, make an income through NIL, right? The other part that it states is that the schools cannot interfere, right? Nor can they actually facilitate those types of deals. There has to be very much an arm's length separation between what the students are doing, student athletes, and any NIL deals that they are signing, and what the university is doing, right? In regards to recruitment, for example, managing, their student athletes, if you will. The one place where they do kind of sort of intersect is on the compliance side. All students that are taking any NIL deals have to report that to the university, right? And the university will be able to basically review that for any conflicts of interest. They can't necessarily limit what those deals are, but if there's, for example, a student code of conduct, right, then they have to make sure that it's going to adhere to their student policies. So you probably aren't going to see deals where kids are going to be, promoting alcohol, right? Kids aren't going to be promoting
tobacco and things like that.
Right. Tobacco, for example, different types of things that are in a more unregulated market. But for the most part, they can really do whatever they want to do.
So here are the pros, right? So let's kind of go through the pros. Everybody wants to hear the good stuff first. So of course the pros are you can, these top players, you heard the Bryce Young deal. He had made $1 million for he pretty much take a snap from Alabama. I think, of course, our Tyler Van Dyke here on our Miami Hurricane, but De'Aaron King was, I think, one of the very first who kind of broke the NIL deal with the moving company, Hunks with Junk or something like that.
Yeah.
Those different type of things. And, and on the surface, a lot of these deals sound great, right? Like you said, $50,000 for this, per season, or maybe some people do a semester or whatever the case may be. But as we all know, it comes to business, so comes the language. And when I mean the language, meaning the contract language. And that's what these youngsters have to, I believe, to be careful of, right? Because everything that glitter isn't gold. We hear $50,000, and you've never even had $50 in your pocket at one time. I mean, that's to you, you feel like that's life changing, but that $50,000 could be life changing in the other direction as well. But let's go to the pros of this deal. I'll let you just talk. What would be you consider the major pro, the top 3 pros or the top positives when it comes to NIL deals for these players?
Right. I mean, number one, that the students can finally actually earn an income, right? For me, we have some student athletes in our family, and I've watched them from the time they were 4 or 5 years old playing football, right? Pee Wee League, all the way through high school, and now and now into college, for example. It's a tremendous sacrifice for the students, and it's a tremendous sacrifice for the families, right? And so any income that they're able to generate, is going to go back to, certainly we hope, to the students themselves, to help their mothers, to help their fathers, to help back home, brothers and sisters. Before, all that money was basically, taken up by universities, right? The NCAA, for example, the conferences and the universities were minting millions and millions of dollars, essentially, based on the ability of these students to play the game at their own risk and peril, right? So now the students have the ability to make money back, right, from the sacrifices that they've made. Look, they have to carry a full workload at school. They still have to do their studies. They still have to participate in practices. They still have to play those ball games. They still have to, recuperate after the ball games and get ready for the next game the week later. So, it is a very high bar for these student athletes, and they should be commended for what they do, and they should not be limited in regards to what their earning potential actually is. The challenge that we have is that it's unregulated, right? And so if you follow any of these student athletes, right, on social media, the standard is basically student athlete, so that'll be like, Robert nildeals@gmail.com. I mean, that's literally what the kids are doing, right? That's how they're opening, a conversation with these corporations. Meaning that, anyone can basically email them, anyone can make them any offer that they want in regards to NIL without necessarily oversight, right, by a business professional, a marketing person, a business person, for example, that can help basically guide them down this path. A lot of student athletes don't have agents, and agents is going to be another really big component of this, because agents now obviously can sign, students in college. And we've even seen agents pursuing, top students in high school, right? And so, these kids need guidance. These student athletes, they do need some guidance. And so, here's what I'm seeing, right? And some of it's, students are apt to be taken advantage of, right? Really, any athlete is apt to be taken advantage of, regardless of the level, right? Be it college or in professional sports, in the NFL or the NBA, right? You've heard those stories time and time again, right? A lot of these students athletes are targets. They're targets because of their earning potential. They're targets because of their ability to literally earn millions and millions of dollars. And there are people out there that are kind of sort of looking out to see how they can take advantage of these students. So we're seeing.
And I said not to interrupt you, but that's just like every 30 for 30 special that comes out. has that complaint. That segment is in there about how somebody took advantage of them and took advantage of them being naive or their inexperience in that situation.
I mean,
Yep.
yeah, we've seen athletes, in professional, I think in basketball, for example, earning $100 million and filing bankruptcy, 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, and the sad thing and the sad truth of the matter is that that's still, a very high likelihood for students and athletes going into the NFL. So one of the things that the NIL law mandates that they have to have a minimum of 5 hours of financial literacy and education at the beginning of the semester and I think in the third semester, right? 5 hours is 5 hours. I'm sure it's going to help them, but it isn't, the ins and out of how do you negotiate a deal, or how do you determine the right value for that deal. So we hope that the schools will make more of that time available to them, right? But again, there has to be a separation between what the university is doing and what the student athletes are doing to negotiate these deals. But let's talk a little bit about how those deals are structured. Some of those deals are basically structured what I would call like their merch deals, right? We want you to post something on your social media. Let's say that the student athlete has 10,000 followers on Instagram, 6,000 followers on Twitter, a couple hundred or a couple thousand on Facebook. Let's say they have a reach of about 25,000 people. And so they'll post something and they're not getting any cash value in return at all, right? They'll give them, 6 t-shirts, right? If it's a fashion company, it says, we'll give you a pair of pants, we'll give you some, boxer shorts or socks and that type of thing. And that's literally all that the students are getting out of it, right? They're getting free merchandise. That's a bad deal, right? Because once you sign up with those, with those marketing companies, they've already got you on the line. You can do that ad, and then 5 years later, they'll be like, so and so was a spokesman for, Charlie's underwear store, whatever it is, right?
Right.
They're gonna look back on that in hindsight and be like, that wasn't a really good deal. The other deals that we're seeing are kind of they are for monetary value. They will determine a value based on the reach of these students via social media primarily, and say, well, we're going to give you $100 to post something on social media, right? And you've seen those. It's basically like a product shot with the student, eating some cereal, having some, athletic drink, for example. And so they will get paid per post. Now, that could be $100, it could be $300, it could be $500, right? But how do you determine what the value is for a student and how much they should charge relative to another
Right.
athlete that has, 100,000 followers, right? Not every student athlete is the same. Social media is very different, obviously for each student athlete as well, but they're making individual deals. And the money shows up in kind of like Cash App. Like it's very transactional, it's very fast, right? Post something for us, here's a product shot, we'll mail it to you. They'll do a picture and then they'll get $100 or $300 or $500 in their Cash App, in their Venmo account, for example. Very, very unregulated. And then the third, right, would be something that's more of a sponsorship type deal, where the students are actually getting recurring revenue, right? We're going to pay you $500 a month, every month, for example, right? That you're on the team, that you're playing, right? And that could be a 6-month deal, or it could be basically a 12-month deal. And we're seeing these deals somewhere in the value between $5,000 and $15,000 per month, right? And when you really begin to take a look at that, let's break it down. I'm going to just round it down to 10,000 because it's easy. 10,000 a month, 12 months is $120,000. If that student is playing for 4 years, right? So they're making $480,000 in NIL for 4 years while they're at that school. That's $500,000, right?
Right.
They're not in the NFL yet.
Right.
Now you're talking about a 4-star athlete, a 5-star athlete who's basically starting, right? At one of the top schools in the country. Obviously there is different valuations for SEC is going to be the strongest conference. They're going to earn more. a student playing at Alabama or Georgia is going to earn significantly more than a student playing in Miami, for example, or in the ACC. And so, it's kind of really sky's the limit. And so that's why we're hearing deals about like, oh, well, this student got $1 million, right? This high school student committed to a school because he had a commitment of $1 million before he even took a snap in college, right? So it's definitely going to, change the dynamic of college football, certainly, but it would definitely change the lives of a lot of these students, right? It'll be, the first real opportunity that they have to make actual financial decisions that will impact them, that will impact their families and their future. So they have to be careful about it and they have to have some guidance.
Right. Well, let's get this. I'm gonna get into the con piece of it because I know it's a lot of hidden things in the closet that a lot of these, especially these are young men, they have not had the opportunity to deal with maybe this type of money. And again, every NIL deal is not a multi-million-dollar deal, right? Every NIL deal is not a Bryce Young deal. Some may be just for the local dentist, or some may be for the local, whatever the case may be. But we're going to get to that. I want to give some quick love to a dono. Hurricane Speed Jr., thank you for the 1999. Says, what's good, Coach Hayes? As soon as we come back from this little break, we're going to go ahead and talk about the pros of this or the cons of this. All right, so we back here. So let's talk about this piece, right? Because and NIL is big. I know I want to talk about this because we keep hearing NIL. Oh, people are going to come to this school because of this NIL deal. The University of Miami has more NIL deals than everybody, and you're going to come here because that's a big component, and it may just very well be. But of course, right, for every good, there's an evil that matches it. And so the evil simply being, and you kind of brought up some of these things, not a good deal, as you called it, the merch deal, and I think that's kind of predatory from these companies because they're taking advantage of young men who have not been in this arena, don't know any better, and they think 6 t-shirts and a pair of shoes is awesome, but they don't realize how that turns over for a company, and these players don't truly know their value. What they do know is, I want to be seen on Instagram, or I want, like, that's their thing. Anything they can put on this right here. You know how they used to call a TV the idiot box? Remember they used to call it that back in the day? Now, the funny thing is, this is the genius and the idiot box at the same time. This has all the answers in it, but it also gets people to go down that pitfall. And I say that to say, sometimes we see things that flash in front of us and we want to just have it so bad that we will ignore all of the things that come behind it. So, for example, 6 t-shirts and a pair of shoes. And now I'm a whole ad campaign on billboards across the country, all this stuff nationwide, if you don't watch the language of however that's used. Especially, I did this, say, my freshman year. And what happens if I become a Heisman candidate my senior year? Yep. Now they can plaster me in these t-shirts or underwear or whatever it is. And now you're selling millions and millions of dollars of merchandise, and all you got was 6 t-shirts and a pair of shoes, and you're a Heisman candidate. So I say that to say we have these players, before they do these deals, they have to, and sometimes you don't know what you don't know. That's one of my favorite sayings. But you got to find out what it is you don't know, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Find that person you trust, or what I would tell them all the time. Coach Hayes is always here. I want nothing. If I don't know, I'll ask somebody else that can find me the answer in that sense. Let's talk maybe some potential horror stories when it may come to a contract, right? Because most of these guys, and then we're going to talk about the tax. Everybody in here been talking about taxes. So we're going to get to that. But let's talk about language that some of these players may not understand when they do these contracts, or just the old handshake deal. Hey, man, if you do this, I'll give you $100 on your Cash App. But what is that saying? Can you use it later on in life and all that stuff? What is your take on the
I mean, absolutely. It's number one, name, image, and likeness, I think, really kind of sort of frames it in the perfect context, right? For both the student athletes and also the companies that are investing in these student athletes. It's your image. It's you, right? And so normally when we're structuring those types of deals, right? We put some parameters around it. For example, you could only use that campaign for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 6 months, a year, for example. Any period that they're going to extend it for longer than that, they should be paying you more, right? Definitely, I would sway any student from basically signing any deals that are only merchandise deals, period, right? There is no monetary value to gain from that. I mean, even just getting the merchandise and selling it, it's really ridiculous. Why would you do that, right? So you do really have to protect yourself within that context. Make sure that you set the ground rules for how your name, image, and likeness is going to be used. The other one is also the opportunity cost, right? So let's say that, I'm a student athlete and I don't know this, right? But there are 3 apparel companies that are looking to do a deal with me. They haven't called me yet, right? They're checking me out, right? They're checking out my stats. They're checking out my school. They're checking out my social media. My social media is rising, right? And one of those companies reaches out first, okay, and that company offers them a free merch deal. But for God's sake, the other company may have been Nike. The other company may have been Tom Brady's new fashion company as well, right? And so once you start doing these little merch deals, it lowers your value, right? Because we really don't want to associate ourselves, like a big brand does not want to associate itself with a spokesperson that's representing much smaller brands that aren't at their level, for example, right? And so, my concern is this, is that we hear about all the big deals, right? We hear about the $50,000 deals. You hear about, John Ruiz, a very successful business guy in Miami, Florida, that's starting to do a lot of $50,000 deals for his software. And that's great. And he absolutely should. But for most students, they're not seeing those deals. No one's calling them. No one's emailing them. No one's hitting them up on social media. And so they're saying, well, where's my payday? The buzz is all NIL. And so they're kind of hungry, right? They're kind of hungry to sign something to show that, that they're getting some action, right? That they're deriving some value from this. And so a lot of times they're basically taking whatever goes their way. And that's tough, and I don't know if they're talking to their parents about it. Definitely, players are talking to each other about it, right? A lot of times these deals go through players, hey, we want to do a merch deal with you. Do you have any friends of yours that may be interested to do basically the same thing? These companies, like, even though like that one player may have 10,000 followers, 25,000 followers, the companies aren't dumb, right? They only live because they have revenue, because they have income, because they have profits, right? But they can go and sign up 10 kids, right? Or 100 kids, 100 student athletes, give them all merch, and not one athlete has more than 25,000 followers, but all together, they may be able to reach 2 million people, right? That's cheaper for them to kind of sort of pool all those athletes together, get a larger media buy that reaches a much wider audience across the country, if you will. And they haven't put any cash up to do that. And so, I think that's really more of what's happening, right? Is that there are haves and have-nots. And right now we're just talking about kind of sort of, you frame it around football. Certainly, on the football side, student athletes, they will make the lion's share, right? In aggregate, if you will. Football players will not make more than NCAA basketball players, right? Because you got 10 players per team, right? There's fewer players as opposed to a football team, which just has 45, or I don't know what the number is, 54 players on a team. I mean, it's a big. So now, the schools are struggling to figure out, well, how can we kind of sort of level the playing field, right? So you're seeing deals where like all the offensive line is getting, $50,000 a month, or all the defensive line is getting $50,000 a month. Certainly the, quarterbacks are signing the highest value deals. But, we've seen combinations, right? Where you're talking about, for example, NIL deals, NFTs, right? and even a lot of the merchandising. I mean, you have some really enterprising students out there that are not going to do a third-party merch deal. They're like, I'm going to make my own T-shirts, and I'm going to get 100% of the profits. If I sell 1,000 shirts at $25, it's 25 grand right there. 1,000 shirts isn't that much, right? And so you are finding some students that are being a little bit more savvy about it and really trying to figure out what their revenue generating opportunities actually are. But my concern is this, basketball players are going to make a ton of money. Football players are going to make a ton of money. Track and field, for example. But, look, 40% of student athletes are women. Yet they generate less than 10% of the earned media around sports, and they earn significantly less, right? So you have a lot of women's sports and softball, for example, gymnastics, for example, that aren't going to be getting anywhere near the kind of attention, anywhere near the type of NIL deals that are currently out there. But you've got to be smart about it, and hopefully the universities the university and the NCAA will figure out a system that's a little bit more equitable, right? And that protects these students from, some of these, companies that don't necessarily have the students' best interest in mind.
Right. Now, let me ask you this piece before we move on. Because you said a mouthful right there, and it's a lot. And I hope people who, even though we got fans on here, but if you have student athletes, they're your relatives, some, you're the parents of any, go back and listen to this, because I'm listening real deep, because this is new for coach as well. I can X and O you to death, right? But when it comes to this piece, this is a new ball game, right? And so I always tell you, Coach Hayes loves to learn, and I've learned a lot just listening. I know I talk about a lot of things kind of on the surface level, but one of the biggest things you just said, Juan, was from a company's perspective, and look how savvy these companies can be. I can go get 10 players at 10,000 subscribers each and have $100,000 market share versus looking for that one guy with 100,000 subscribers. You understand what I mean? And then I can downplay them and say, hey, well, you only got 10,000. What if I just lowball you with some shirts and a couple of, whatever, jackets or hats or whatever, and that the message still gets out there, right? But a guy with 100,000 in his pocket, so far 100,000 subscribers, in his back pocket and on his phone, he has more value to that company, if I'm saying that correctly. Am I correct, Juan?
Well, there's a model for that, right? So it's called CPM, right? Basically cost per thousand. So the model would basically be, so you take 100,000, right? You take 100,000 and you divide that by 1,000, right? So that gets you to 1,000 increments. So that's 100. And so the CPM, it would be the value. It could be anything. It could be $7. It could be $12. It could be $16, right? So at a $16 CPM, right, that student is going to be making $1,600 per post, right? And mind you, they can post twice a week, right? They can post, they can post twice a day. They can post, they can do sponsored posts 4 times a week. A student with 100,000 followers could easily earn $6,000 or $7,200 a month just on posts alone. Period. And now you're talking about, they have the opportunity to have 3 sponsors, 4 sponsors, 6 sponsors, right? Car deals. I mean, kind of really sky's the limit here. But there is a method to the madness. It's not that people are going to assign a random value for the advertising cost, because the one thing that NIL does also clarify in the laws is that, these deals can't be so inequitable, right? Meaning, you can't pay Timmy $100,000 and pay Tom $20,000 when they're basically the same athletes, same caliber athletes doing the same role, right? It would kind of sort of indicate that this person is gaining preferable advantage, right? And benefiting from that. And so they're not going to be looking at 2 players, but they're going to be looking at the whole, all the student athletes across the entire league, right? Because they will be able to see through compliance what the average deals are for quarterbacks, edges, wide receivers, running backs, clearly those players will have the ability to earn more. But, you talked about, for example, with Bryce Young, when he won, the Heisman Trophy, for example, for that win alone, he would have earned $250,000. Right, like that's so. Whoever gave him $1 million, they made a lot of money for that. Right, it was cheap. Right, the amount of media attention that he basically garnered through the course of the year, if you will. And that's why companies are basically making the investments. But as a student athlete, you need to make sure that you're maximizing your earning potential and that you are not selling yourself short.
Gotcha. Now let's talk about this piece right here, and then we'll move on. Branding is a big deal, right? As I deal with a lot of these players, I think this is a fatal error. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. I see the biggest trend today is Instagram with them, right? They go to Instagram, you go to their page, you can go to any one of your favorite players' page, I don't care who it is, so far as these high school prospects coming out. You go to the Instagram page, they ask everybody, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. And they have 2, 3, 4 pictures, maybe 5 at the most, just pictures. Their Instagram is not engaging to the audience. So yeah, they may get that. They may have people who come in there and do it. But if it's nothing engaging, those people never come back. They just a number on the screen, but they're not interacting with there's no engagement, right? So far as from your followers. Do you think that is an error from a branding standpoint for these up and coming players? Or do you think that's just a trend as the players do? I just want to be cool. Yeah, I got 3 pictures up there and I got 25,000 followers.
Yeah, we study this stuff. I've been doing this work on the technology side for over 20 years. We've managed, millions and millions of dollars of paid media for our clients on national campaigns, if you will. And, we take a look at kind of what popular culture is. What is a Kim Kardashian doing, for example? What is a Tom Brady doing, for example, versus what these student athletes are doing. And so here's my understanding of it, right? That the students basically will delete a post if it has less than X number of likes, right? Because they don't want to post something that isn't popular and then that kind of sort of makes them look bad, right? But they won't delete something that has like 5,000 views or 10,000 views, right? So it's basically their editing, right? Their feed. They're kind of sort of setting what the narrative is at the end of the day, but there's absolutely no question. The level of engagement goes down because at most you can only engage with 5 photos. You can like 5 photos as opposed to them having an entire stream, right, of the last year or 2, So I don't necessarily think that that's a good trend, but certainly it is a trend, right? That's out there. And so, I don't know who's going to change that trend, but definitely, a lot of students are deleting their posts after a couple of days, and if they don't reach a certain threshold of likes. And I think that is to their disadvantage in the end.
Yeah, big shout out to Falconer X. It's great info from Pro Sports Digital I never thought of. And that's why I like to have guys like Juan on, other people that, can bring more insight, right? And that's one thing about me. I love to bring people on that can help teach the fan base as well as teach me in this process, man. So thank you, Juan, for that. Also, I want to say this piece here. From a branding standpoint, what would be one of your major tips? Because we talked about branding. What is one of the major tips that you may give to someone out there that says, all right, I may be a top player. I'm even thinking about from 9th grade as a parent, right? A parent of a 9th grader that's hot on the trail. He's looking good. He's trending. He's going to potentially be one of these big name stars. Branding wise, how do you start that process being so young?
Yeah, I mean, you got to protect your brand. And so the fact of the matter is, you don't really know where you're going to be for some of these student athletes 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, right? But, normally the first thing is kind of sort of registering, your social media accounts, right? A lot of times, if you try to register like, Robert, not available, Common terms, for example, are no longer available. Same thing basically for websites. Common, terms for websites are no longer available. But the first thing that you do need to do is you do need to secure, right? Those accounts. You need to secure your Instagram account. You do need to secure your, IG account, for example. And you absolutely need to secure your own domain, right? Because someone else can buy it, right? And then they own it. And in effect,
No, not to interrupt you, but when you say domain, what do you mean specifically? Because a lot of people don't know that term.
Yeah, so the domain would be like your website, your website, so it would be whatever the name of the student athlete is, would be, registering the domain. And so, I'm going to give you one example, right, which is a pretty big one, Jalen Green, right? Jalen Green, phenomenal basketball player in the NCAA, right? Moved on to Houston, is signing huge contract now. Was a first round draft pick. He's now I think 3 or 4 years into his professional career now. He's going to probably sign the max contract. Phenomenal player, but if you go to jalengreen.com, which is the first thing that comes up when you do a search on Google for Jalen Green, it's a website that he doesn't own. It has his name, it has his image, it has his likeness, right? It's got fan content, but he doesn't own it, and he doesn't derive any revenue on it. And someone is essentially borrowing it, without paying rent at the end of the day. And so, registering a domain for yourself, it costs you $10, it costs you $15,
for the year.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, there's going to be some domains out there that are, they want $15,000. I mean, we've seen instances where you've got top NFL athletes who, are now thinking about that in their professional careers, and they go and try and register it. Some guy has it, and he's trying to sell it back to him for $1 million or $2 or $3 million, right? And you're like, well, what the hell, that's my name at the end of the day. But there's a governing body for that called Internet. They're the ones that basically control, all the domains. Fans can't create fan sites. They can't create community sites. And so, this is the Jalen Green website. I think at the bottom, it probably has something at the bottom there where it basically says it's a fan website, but it is not owned by him. It is not controlled by him. And it's a shame. It's an absolute shame. So some of the stuff
that's crazy.
I don't know if you refresh that. I don't know, Coach. If you refresh that, you may get that prompt, right?
I see it right here. It says fan website right there.
Yeah,
look how it's strategically placed.
Wow. Yeah, but if you refresh it, go all the way to the bottom, to the footer. Yeah. Please note this website is not affiliated, endorsed, operated, sponsored by Jalen Green, and is a fan website. Like, that's it. Like, they got your number, right?
And you had to go all the way to the bottom of the haystack to find that, right?
Right. I mean, they could be selling T-shirts on here. They can be selling, who knows what. And sadly, he's not benefiting from it. I mean,
the sad part is the web address is jalengreen.com, not like jalengreenfans.com. So somebody basically beat him to his own web domain, as you say.
Yeah.
And now if Jalen wants to buy that name back, and I know this happened to Warren Sapp a while back, where now he was like big99.com. He just changed it totally. But there are people who go out there and just realize when you're going to become a star, because it is so cheap, like you just said, $9.99 for the entire year to have this name. So if you think about it, for an entire decade, you put up $100, you can secure your name. In 10 years, you'll pretty much know if you're going to be the guy or not. But versus going back trying to pay $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 just for your name, when you could have made $100 investment. Wow.
So what we're doing at Pro Sports Digital, I don't know if you can bring up the browser back up, is, you go to Ruben Knows, for example. So this is a website that we created for Ruben Hippolyte, right? A great player here from Florida, right? And now plays at Maryland. And so, we work with Ruben, we work with his mom, Nikki, to help them better understand kind of sort of, what those opportunities are. So, his tags or his handles on social media are Ruben Knows. So if you go to Ruben Knows on Instagram, if you go to Ruben Knows on on Twitter, for example, it's all going to basically be branded the same. And so this is a way that he can control his narrative. He can talk about who he is in the about section, right? He can control what the news is, right, about himself, right? So you can go to the source, which is a student athlete. We did the same thing if you go to earllittleJr.com, for example, right? So we've got players in the SEC, we've got players in the ACC, we've got players kind of sort of all around, and we're beginning to kind of expand our footprint with them. And so we think it's really just a great way for them to take control of their name, image, and likeness, to control the narrative, to secure their personal rights to their name and image, and to be able to tell the story that they want to tell, right? And so this kind of sort of just reinforces the work that they're doing. And if you go up, for example, you just hit that connect, it also gives them, all the way to the right, it gives them the ability for companies to connect with them to do NIL deals, right? So that way they're controlling it. It's much more professional. As a corporation, you're coming and be like, wow, this kid has his act together, right? He's doing something right. And he's, clearly a great athlete. And so we have several of these, and we're going to be getting a lot more of them up, in the months to come. So we're very excited about what we're doing.
That's pretty cool, man. And like you said, it's great. Again, right? You can do all of this. It's perfect. It's professional. And again, if you're a major company and you're looking to invest, because this is an investment for them too, right? You want to make sure that your investment is on track, right? You want to make sure that, this looks professional. Even though I know Earl Little as a person, as a player, but as a person, this matches, you know what I mean? Because, athletes and actors become two different people. You're a player and then you're a person, right? And so, yeah, I like that fact, because I believe branding is huge. And that is something that we don't teach a lot, especially at the younger age. I understand having a fun Instagram, big dog 29 underscore this, that, and the other. And there's nothing wrong with that if you want to have that from a fun standpoint. But as business is growing, business is starting to creep younger and younger. Like you say, agents are starting to come in, working with some of these guys in high school. We have to understand the importance of this. Because I always flip it around. Imagine if I went to that player and I say, I want to be your agent, and they go to look me up, and my Instagram handle name was, I'm about that money. So let's flip it around, right? So if I'm just, hey Juan, I want to be an agent, for your son, and you go look me up, and my Instagram page is about that money. You'd be like, this guy a joke, right? You wouldn't take me serious. And so it's the same thing. You have to understand how serious you are and know your worth as a player, and everything else. And not only that, I'm gonna say this last piece. I always talk about the retirement plan. I don't call it plan B, because I always look at plan B as if you may have failed. That doesn't necessarily mean that, but it sounds that way. Retirement plan means, what do you do when you put the cleats up? Whether you have a 2-year career or a 20-year career like Tom Brady. Tom Brady's going to put those cleats up one day. And when he does, what has he already started doing? Started creating an athletic wear brand, the TB12 brand. He started that already, and he's doing that. And it's the same thing with these players. Even if you have a 3-year career, you can use those 3 years in the league to sustain you for the next 40, 50 years in your life if you do it right.
Yep. We just, look, I saw my sister raise, 2 great kids, 2 great athletes. I've seen the sacrifice that she put into it. And, we're very protective of them. And so we don't want them to ripped off. And I don't want any student athlete to be ripped off. And so, this is kind of sort of my, way to help, the community as a whole. Right. So we think the students would be better off, and then they can kind of sort of have more control over their careers and also, the NIL value and deals that they decide to sign.
I love it. Says I think Coach Hayes deserves an NIL deal. I need an NIL deal. Let's make it happen. But yeah, man. So this is great information, Juan. Like I said, those pages are great for those players. Glad I had the opportunity to pull those up. And it shows very professional. And here's the best part: everything is in one place for them, right? You don't have to go to Instagram. And I'm just using this as an example. Earl to God on Instagram, and then on Twitter, he Earl the man, and on Facebook, you know what I mean? Everything is the same. You try and brand everything the same. And I learned that a while ago, because if you know, everything is Coach Hayes Football. From my Instagram, Twitter, everything is Coach Hayes. Football was just too long for Twitter, but it's Coach Hayes FB. But I ran out of characters. But anyway, I try to do that well from a branding standpoint, and so therefore I totally understand. My email, Coach Hayes Football at Gmail.
Yeah, I mean, for students and for student athletes and for their parents, it's trends are important, and we understand that. I mean, a lot of these kids are creating trends that haven't existed. Popular culture is obviously a really big influence here. But some of the biggest mistakes that I've seen are, number one, the students not securing their social media accounts. They get hacked, right? And so they've had an account, for example, for a year, 2 years. They finally get to college. Now they got some following. They haven't turned on two-factor authentication, for example. The account gets hacked. They can't get into it, right? They lose all those followers basically at the end of the day, because they can't reclaim their accounts, and then they have to start another account, right? And they got to start from zero, and that's crazy to me, right? And for those students that have, let's say, an account that isn't necessarily a great name to start out with, or very professional, for example, when they finally make that switch, you can't carry those followers over automatically. You can't just migrate them in like in and out. You got to solicit them again to come follow you on another account. So I think they have to be very smart about how they are going to do that. And there are a lot of student athletes that have the same names. Like, there's a lot of Marvin Jones out there. There are,
Right.
and so you got 2 or 3 of them, 4 of them, if you will. And so you have to really kind of sort of think a step or two ahead. But that's really, I think that this last class, which was the first year that they had NIL, this new incoming class is going to be in a much, much better position than their predecessors that are now in the NFL. Like, we're registering domains for kids now who may share a name of an NFL player who hasn't registered it yet, right? And so they're already going to be a step or two ahead of the professional players, because those professional players never had to kind of sort of deal with that at college, right? They were just focused on their sports, being competitive and being the best that they could be. But now, with all the marketing and NIL, these kids are kind of sort of learning very, very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. And again, those people follow you. I go back to Bryce Young because he was a big name. But Bryce Young starts off, goes into college, and he takes all of that with him to the NFL. And guess what? All of those subscribers and followers and all of that carry with you. So now, if Chevrolet wants to cut a deal with you, look at all the people I'm bringing with me as well. So in my eyes, it's very helpful, because the longer you're doing it, the more people you're having to subscribe and follow you. And then on every step of the level, those people still help you down the line.
Well, I mean, Jalen Green has like 7 million followers now on Twitter. I mean, he does control that, and on Instagram. The value of that is, he could be making, $600,000 alone just on social media posts, separate from his contract. I mean, he could earn, and a lot of these athletes kind of sort of take that tack where they'll save the money that they earn as the athlete, and that they don't touch that, for example, and they'll spend the money that they earn from a marketing perspective, right? There's a lot of ways that they can do it. But, now some of these athletes, once they're getting into their first year or second year into the pros, will have 2 million, 4 million, 5 million, 6 million, 7 million followers. These are huge, huge numbers, but you have to be smart to start thinking about that now, right? Because 3 years, 4 years goes by really, really, really quick. And if you kind of sort of plant the seed, you're going to be in a much better position to leverage it.
Exactly. I'm going to say this last point. I'm going to let you run, Juan. It's been a pleasure. Do you think it is a good idea for players to create their own, I guess, in essence, NIL, meaning have the ability to sell their own merch? I know Travis Jordan, is it Travis Jordan, the quarterback of Florida State? He's selling his own shirts, right? And so he's keeping 100% of that profit. He's not, working for anyone else. He may get some deals as well, but he's also selling his own merchandise, his own logo, his own everything as well. Do you think that would be wise for players to do?
I mean, I absolutely do. Certainly, because the flip side of that is you're basically doing a merchandising deal where you're basically licensing your name to a company that's creating and doing the design and fulfillment of those shirts. So let me give you an idea. The retail value of a T-shirt is anywhere from $19.99, $20 to $25, right? I don't think a lot of people are going to pay $40 for a T-shirt. Okay, you're talking
unless
about
it's a Kanye shirt, unless it's a Kanye West T-shirt.
Right.
Jesus.
So so let's say, so now let's just break that down. What is the cost of a $25 T-shirt? This T-shirt itself is $6 or $7, right? The printing of that T-shirt may be $2 or $3 or $4 or $5, right? For the printing, if it's a 1-color, 2-color, 3-color, 4-color T-shirt. You got fulfillment on that T-shirt. It's got to be packaged. It's got to be shipped. It's got to be drop shipped, if you will. A lot of these students that are signing these merch deals are literally only getting like $3 to $4 per T-shirt. That's it. They're making 10 to 15 cents off of that. And those merch companies are doing the same thing. I've seen kids that their website's basically linked to a merch website to a third party that's making the money. And they're trying to sign up as many players. We want to, the inquiries that normally come in is, well, we want to do, we want you to do a merch deal with us, and we'll sell your T-shirts, we'll produce your T-shirts. You don't have to do anything at all. But they're really giving up a tremendous value. The flip side of it is that now you are responsible for the marketing of that shirt, the fulfillment of that shirt, the design, and the putting it together. But you can do that fairly inexpensively, and for some very, very, very enterprising, student athletes, forget about T-shirt. You really need to be thinking about fashion. FUBU started making T-shirts, right? Damon, what is it? Damon, what is it? John Damon,
Damon
right?
John.
There
Damon
you go.
John.
Damon John, right? He was earning $300 million on fashion. Like these kids are good-looking kids, they're athletic kids. Anything looks good on them, right? Design a T-shirt, slap a logo on that T-shirt, slap a logo on some pants, slap a logo on some shirts, shorts, if you will. Start a fashion line. There's a lot more they can do than just getting a T-shirt out. They can make a line of that T-shirt. They can have 3 or 4 T-shirts. They can have T-shirts every season. They can have special T-shirts when they win a championship. Fans will support them. And that money is going back into the community. It's going back into the community. It's helping the students. It's helping small business, if you will. And that's a really great thing.
I love it, man. Well, Juan, I appreciate it. You see the people are responding. A lot of people saying, man, everybody needs to have a website like that. And so I think it's pretty cool. I would challenge everyone in here, if they know of someone, if they are part of one of these student athletes, this journey that they're going on and they're young, even these college guys right now, listen to the information that's given, right? Listen to what's being said out here about this stuff, because when you go back and listen to the 30 for 30s, the old saying, if I knew then what I know now. Well, somebody's trying to tell you now what they know, and got to take advantage of this kind of stuff, right? Because if not, you will be taken advantage of. And that's just business, right? And so that's part of this. if you know better, you do better, and you can't say you don't know because people are trying to put out this information, and don't sell yourself short. You get it? Don't sell yourself short. The
Yep.
shorts. I'm here all week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here all week. But anyway, I just want to say, man, thank you, Juan. I appreciate it. We're going to finish this out with some more phone calls. You're more than welcome to listen or stay in the background, but we're going to get these phone lines up, and they want to talk about Mario Cristobal and these Miami Hurricanes. So we're going to get this thing rolling, man.
Well, thank you, Coach. Thank you so much for your time and, for really, helping, educate our student athletes. And so we hope that they are better for it. So thank you.
Definitely, man. Anytime, man. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Juan.
Pleasure.
Bye now.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Juan Proano from ProSportsDigital.com, man. You can check them out. They do a lot of things. I know they're actually working on some website stuff now. So even if you go to the website now, it's not up now, but it will be up shortly. You can check out the description of this video, come back and check it. But like I said, I mean, it was a lot of great information in there. And again, I know, we had some viewership drop off. I get it because we ain't talking about tackling. But it also educates you when you have conversations about NIL deal, right? So when you're in the barbershop and you're having these conversations, you can speak intelligently about this. Hey, man, look, yeah, I know my man just got a deal, but was it an underwear deal or was he getting some cash for it, right? These are the kind of conversations you can have because everybody on here knows somebody that's going through this process so far as high school athlete or going to go through or know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. And each one has to teach one in order to make it happen. I'm going to go ahead and open up the phone lines back up. So if people would like to call, they're more than welcome to go ahead and give us a phone call. If they'd like to jump on and talk a little bit, if you want to talk about the NIL part that we spoke about, or if you would like to just go ahead and talk about the Miami Hurricanes spring ball and what Mario Cristobal is doing and everything else. Phone number is 321-328-8235. More than welcome to call on in and let's talk about it. And tomorrow is our 2-year anniversary. 2-year anniversary. So if Coach can get 2 thumbs up from everybody in the chat, I would appreciate it. And a 1 like. 1 like and 2 thumbs up. That would be great for the 2-year anniversary tomorrow. We may do something special there in that sense. But anyway, I thought that was big. Wanted to make sure we did talk about that, the NIL deals, and what a lot of people think. A lot of people think everybody's getting $50,000. Everybody's getting this. Well, like I said, I know it's some people out there and some players out there getting local deals, right? Maybe from the local pizza shop, right? Maybe they might get a free pizza a week for doing an ad. Who knows? But at the same time, they have to know their worth, right? And that is one of the hardest things to do. How do you value that as a person who hasn't been through that? And so I totally understand. Trust me, I'm going through that now myself, dealing with this whole YouTube thing. How do I value here, from an actual dollar amount? How do you put an actual dollar amount on that? And that's the hard thing. It's not always a perfect formula for it. So you have to know how to calculate that and work through that and navigate that process. But anyway, phone line is open. Big shout out to T. Hines in the building. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. Birdstone with the 2 thumbs up. Ben Pratt, 2 thumbs up. D Nice with the 2 thumbs up. Roddy Brick with the 2 thumbs up. Perfect. Anyway, but that was crazy that somebody took that other young man's whole thing, and at the very bottom they put that disclaimer. This is not our site, but man, you have to go all the way to the bottom of the page in order to find it. And took his exact name, right? The Jalen Green, not Jalen Green fan site or something like that. Took his exact name, jalengreen.com. So imagine if everybody goes on his Twitter account and think he, type in jalengreen.com as his stuff. And like you say, somebody decides to buy merchandise from that thing. That guy's killing it, whatever the case may be. But anyhow, let's go. I need some phone calls in here, guys. Don't be scared to call in. Give us a phone call. My man V12, I think he stood us up. I don't know what V12 at. Let me hit him up. He said he was going to be coming on here shortly. Let me see where he is. He said he was going to make a guest appearance. Last time I saw him, he was talking about Will Smith getting slapped. So let's see what V12 is. I'm going to call him on the phone right now. Hold on. Let's see what V12 is, man. Don't send me to voicemail, V. He probably watching the show. In the meantime, Mark Stemper, appreciate the 2 thumbs up. Oh, Lord, V12 send me. When he come in, I got to give him a slap to the face. But he'll probably be popping in a second. But anyway, like I said, so Mario Cristobal, let's go back to Mario Cristobal in spring football. So he's done an excellent job with creating a culture. I told you that when they start spring ball, especially a new team, a new philosophy, new scheme, new coaches, new everything, they're going to have to build the culture. And that is what Mario Cristobal is doing right now. He said he'd be on 10 minutes. I got to give him a quick slap when he come on. But anyway, Mario Cristobal is building a new culture. You can look at it. Look at the people that's coming back around. Let's be honest. I'm going to just call a spade a spade. Warren Sapp wasn't a Miami favorite. And when I'm not talking about his on-the-field play, I'm just talking about he was talking kind of reckless, boy. I mean, think about that. Warren Sapp was out there. He'd been talking a little reckless about Miami. He was making fun about the players doing cartwheels. You understand what I'm saying? Like, Warren Sapp was tough on the program, and he decided to show his face at practice. That's going to tell you something big going on. That's going to tell you something big is going on. Trick Daddy Dollars out there showing his face. All right. Who else was out there that I don't know of right now? Put it in the chat that I can't remember who was out there. Let me see. Trick was out there. What's the running back? I mean, with the linebacker's name. Not Vilma. Anyhow, all these celebrities, all these former Kane, Adrian James was out there. He coming through. That's big right there. You got a lot of players that are coming through. The recruits are coming through. They get a chance to see how different. And here's the funny thing. I have to say this. When Manny Diaz was, I would say in office, when Manny Diaz was at the helm, players still had good things to say about Miami. Players had good things to say about Miami, even when Manny Diaz was there. But listen to what they're saying now. Holy smokes, Coach, it's different. It's this, it's that. Jesse Armstead, I apologize. Yes, Jesse Armstead. Marley was out there. John Beeson. Come on, y'all talk to me, somebody. All right, that's excellent. All right, Hurricane Speed Jr., appreciate that. 1999, he says, Coach, it's kind of crazy that you got 20K in 2 years, quicker than some other YouTubers. I love all of them. Big dang. Hey, man, we put that workout, man. Them guys put some workout too. But like I say, we was hitting them hard with the WREs. We going out there, man. We dropping videos every day, 20 videos a month. That's not including lives. Those were just the WRE video, the watch, react, and evaluate videos. Those are coming back out here soon. Like I said, Coach had to handle some business. I got it all situated, so I'm good to go. Street is like a celebrity. Now, Sigmund, me and Street always tell your mama jokes. That was a perfect opening for the your mama joke. But he ain't here, so I ain't gonna do it to him. I don't want to get Will Smith. I don't want to get Will Smith. I almost told her your mama joke on Streeter right there. But Streeter is like a celebrity. I'm gonna let that ride. Anyway, phone line is open, guys. Don't be scared to call in. Voice your opinion, man. 321-328-8235. Call on in. Let's talk about it. But anyway, back to Mario Cristobal building a culture, bringing in all these people, bringing in all these former Hurricanes, bringing in these former players. He's creating the atmosphere of back in the day, and it's only one other program that can truly do that, and that is USC, University of Southern California. Baby Shaq, you crazy. This is why I hate reading the comment. Throw me off my point. Don't say his mom was Lizzo. Oh, anyway, there's only one other program that can do that, and that is something me and Street were talking about. University of Miami, because of its location. You're in a hotbed, right? You're in a great place. Everybody comes here to vacation, party. So celebrities are here all the time, right? And then USC on the West Coast can do that because it's right in the heart of LA. Back then when the Reggie Bush era, they had the actors coming by, all of that kind of stuff, right? Most of these other colleges are in small towns, small areas. They have to actually take a trip to those programs to visit the program, right? You could be in Miami for any reason, be like, hey, what, Miami having practice? Let me call a coach and see if it's okay if I stop by, right? I mean, think about it. Floyd Mayweather was in there shooting basketball not long ago, right? Floyd Mayweather at the University of Miami campus shooting basketball. So the location is prime for what he's building. You know what I mean? On the West Coast, USC can actually build the same thing. And I'm telling y'all something. Lincoln Riley, I don't think he's playing around. USC and Miami, this is a beautiful thing. I have to say this. We both were down. But I think we're going to rise together. I really, in my heart of hearts, believe that the University of Miami and the University of Southern California is going to rise together. It's time for it, man. When those two programs are doing great, college football is awesome. I don't care what nobody say. When college football is great, and I'm talking about great games, both of those programs do great. And they're identical schools, right? Small school, private schools. It's amazing how both of them, and they're in two major cities. That's great. I'm mad at y'all. Y'all ain't calling in, man. About to get upset. Coach, give y'all 100%. We got 146 in the building. Y'all talk to me. All right. Port Knox says college pro team. That's correct, man. College pro team. Missy Goodwin. Ruiz asked Mario, how much did Oregon pay for their facilities? And Ruiz said he going to double it. I'm loving it. Hey, whatever it is, man. Hey, y'all can hire a coach. I go over there. I'll put one brick on the building, man. It costs you $400,000. $400,000 to put one. I'm laying one brick right there. Chug Mobile in the building. What's up, Chug? Boy, y'all almost ran out of cane juice, Chug. Hold on. I lost my cane juice cup. I don't know where it is. But anyway, Chug Mobile says, great show, coach. Smash the like button. You family, Canes for life. Appreciate that. Well, I'm waiting on V12. I don't know where he is. He told me 10 minutes. I'm trying not to get out of here on him. But I'm about to get up out of here. Ain't nobody on the phone. I hate talking to myself. I need y'all to come holler at your boy, man. Let's make this thing happen, Kane family. I know that Flo's coming on, I believe, 8:45, if I'm not mistaken. I know he normally comes on about 8:45 or so. So you got to make sure you go check that out. And everybody else, man. Everybody else who do these videos for the Miami Hurricanes, go check it out. Lowe says, what do you think will be the breakout star on both defense and offense? Everybody asks me this. I'm still stuck on Chase Smith. I hope the guy on defense, Chase Smith, comes in because linebacker was always a point of concern. I'm not going to say need, but of a concern for the Miami Hurricanes, right? And I hope that, there we go. And I really hope in my heart of hearts that Chase Smith comes out and dominates because I think he is too dynamic of a player to be a role player in my eyes. Hold on one second, caller. Turn your background down just a little bit if you don't mind. Second is on offense. Like, I don't want to call the obvious name, right? I think TVD is going to be extremely well. Like, I want to call, you say a breakout player, so that's fine. I'm looking at Brashard Smith, dog. I'm going to say it. I'm going to leave it there. Brashard Smith, I think, is going to be he's going to hurt you. He's going to cut you 3 different ways, long, deep, wide, and repeatedly. That's how I feel about it. I think Brashard Smith and Chase Smith, the Smith brothers, going to hurt people out here this year when it comes to it. I want to see Chase Smith get it in. We got a call on the line, 954 area code. Talk to us. Where you calling from?
What's up, Coach Hayes? How you doing, man? I actually been following you for a while, man. I just want to take the time out to say that I appreciate what you do, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about recruiting. I've been a Hurricanes fan probably since I've been born, 1988, man.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask you a question.
Sure.
Okay.
Do me a quick favor. Turn your background because it's coming through your phone. So turn the TV down or whatever you're watching on the background. That'd be great because it's doubling back. That's all. No, you good.
Okay. I feel like, and I'm being honest when I tell you this, coaching hires all the way down from the head coach, defensive backs, D-line, I feel like all of them They're excellent hires. And I feel like this been a long time that the Hurricanes done got some of the top recruits just to come on campus and just see the environment. And I feel like that me being a fan, I have high expectations for this program because I feel like by these recruits coming on campus, they want to see us win. In order to get these top recruits, we gotta win. And I just honestly feel like that if we don't win this year, meaning like no more than I say give or take 3 losses max, I feel like we ain't gonna get them top recruits, man. A lot of people gonna be disappointed, including myself.
Okay, so back to
okay, what you saying?
No, I was gonna say, first of all, thank you for that, man, for following me for a long time. I really appreciate it. That means a lot. Like I said, man, we've been on our grind here 2 years, 21,000 subscribers. So I appreciate that, man. Thank you for adding to that, man. It does mean a lot. But here's what I'm gonna say. Because you kind of put out an expectation of record, meaning 3 losses. So you're saying we'll go 9-3. 9-3. Is that what you're saying?
I say max. I say 3 losses max. Yeah, 3 losses max. That's what I'm giving us. 3 losses max.
All right, real quick. What are those 3 losses in your mind?
I feel like it'll probably be Texas A&M. That's a 50-50 game. I say we got to play Clemson this year. That's another 50-50 game. And I say I ain't even going to sleep on a team like North Carolina because we've been struggling with them for a while. I ain't worried about Florida State. They're going to beat Florida State. But them are just 3 teams right there. And all them 50-50 games because just the hype that's built up on us, them boys is hungry. And them the only 3 games that I can honestly say that I feel like that it's going to be like a battle. Texas A&M going to be that battle though.
All right, so you know what's funny? Here's the thing. I know it's a delay, and I don't know if you're watching, but I already put the 3 teams up there before you said it.
You did?
Watch the TV. Watch it.
You didn't say those 3 teams, Coach.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I put it up there. I wrote it on paper. You see it. Watch, it's coming in 3, 2, 1.
Damn, man, my team might be a little slow, Coach.
That's all right. Watch, it's coming. So anyway, while it's coming on the TV, you maybe have a little bit more delay than most. But here's what's interesting about it, right? That has been consistent across the board. Texas, North Carolina, and Clemson, right? But my question is, and I'm okay with that. I don't have any expectation. Can I be honest? I'm not okay with it, but I don't have whatever the bar is set. I talked to a caller earlier about this. Wherever the bar is set is where I'm going this year. Next year, I have expectations. Okay. So with that being said, you may have paused it somewhere. You may have paused the TV somewhere and it may be back a little bit. But anyway, so wherever the bar is set, that's my expectation because we've done this to so many coaches. And I have to say this with Mario Cristobal, him, and I have to say this, being the perfect hire, everybody was hot with me, oh, Lane Kiffin. No, I still have my reasons now, and I still going to always have my concerns about Mario Cristobal. It's really no fault of his own. That's just what it is. Because he's going to have to keep striking gold. Here's what I say about him. What I don't want to have happen is the fan base turn on this guy. See, we turned on everybody, and he ain't the first Miami alum. We turned on Randy. Randy had the top recruiting class, this, that, and the other. But what didn't Randy have? He didn't have the Miami support. He didn't have no coaching staff. But he also didn't have the Miami support from the upper echelon. He didn't have the brass opening the wallet. And remember, Randy was not his first choice. That was not Miami's first choice. But he was a Hurricane, and we turned on it. And to Randy's defense, we could call what we wanted to call, but Randy did exactly what the university wanted: clean up the program and get these players graduated. And that's what he did. He even turned around on Nevin Shapiro. He did everything right, except he believed him, and it came down to wins and losses, and they fired him. Right? Mark Richt.
Right now.
Mark Richt, same thing. comes in, gets us there, moves up the ladder, does some good things. Well, he had a 10-win season. And guess what? Because we don't want him to fire such and such, his son, we turn on him. And so now with Mario Cristobal, I was only bringing up the 3 former Hurricane coaches who were players and now became coaches. And now with Mario Cristobal, former player, everything looked good, sounds good, smells good, feels good. And what happens if we drop these 3 teams right here for the next 3 years? Teams like this, not these particular teams. Does the fan base turn on the prodigal son? That's my fear. That's why I don't have an expectation for this first year. Let him be whatever he's going to be. I'm good with that. Because you got to build it. It don't come overnight.
See the recruits. They want no recruits, coach. They want no recruits. One thing about us Hurricanes fans, they want to win. But I think more than anything, they want them recruits. They want them recruits, man. As long as I feel like we get them recruits, and then then they'll be patient with Mario. But if we start losing, man, I feel like you say, coach, they might turn on them. And that's the fear, though. That's that fear, though. A lot of people ain't gonna say it, but you said it now. You're the first one that ever said it now.
I've always said that. What happens? See, it was almost, I said the same thing about Ed Reed, right? What happens when your people turn on you, dog? Like, that's the thing. And I'm not saying they can't take it. I get all that. I'm just talking about all this hype. Every year we give hype. And what you do is you give yourself false hope. You don't give yourself a chance to let it fester and become something great. We want something great right away. Let it become great. Hell, we waited 20 years. We finally got what we wanted. They opened up the wallet for the player. Now I got to be great all of a sudden. And I'm not saying it can't be great this year. Don't get me wrong. But let it be what it's going to be. Let him, like they say, don't worry about it. He got control. Let him be in control. Let him be in charge of whatever it's going to be. That's all I'm saying. Because it's going to be an ugly day, boy. You talking about some stuff. Let's say we go in there and we beat a UNC and a Clemson. And we drop to Virginia. That's 5-6 at the time. And they kick us out the playoffs. What are people going to say? Oh, man, practice was excellent. He's got the energy up. The culture's better. No. Man, he did the same thing he did at Oregon, man. Man, look at this. Look at that. He had a chance to go into the national championship. He was ranked number 4 in the nation and got his butt whooped by Utah. See, we'll turn on people quick, dog. We'll turn on. And what I'm saying is, and people know that's a tendency. I'm not saying it is going to happen, it isn't. But let's just see. We haven't even played the scrimmage yet, let alone a game.
I'm going to be at that scrimmage. I'm going to be at that scrimmage in April. I'm going to be there now, coach. I want to see you there, man.
I'm going to try and get there, man. I'm going to try and get April, what, 16?
Yeah, April 16th, by the way, man. My name Wayne, man. I hope I do see you, coach, man. I want to meet you in person. Like I said, man, I'm always watching you on TV, man. Always watching you, coach.
I appreciate that, Wayne, man. Well, thank you, man. I think you put a thing in there earlier. You said you're going to be at the spring game, the comments?
No. I ain't.
Oh, no, somebody put in the comment section, I'm going to be at the spring game. No, I was saying somebody put in the comment section they were going to be in the spring game. They wanted to meet with their kids. That's why I said I thought that may have been you. I wasn't sure.
Okay, yeah, but I'm only watching you on TV. Usually I watch you on my phone, but I ain't put no comment in yet. But I'm going to drop a like for you, though, man, because I'm always following you on TV, coach.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, Wayne. That means a lot, man.
And have a good night, coach. I'll be listening to you.
I appreciate it. I got my dog V12 in the back right here. I got to get him a wheel. I got to Will Smith my dog right quick. All right. Appreciate you, Wayne. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Hit that smack on him, man. Hit that smack, coach.
Yes, sir. All right.
What's up, Kane Nation?
Bro, why the screen black? Hold up, V. I can't see you, dog. Don't be ducking and dodging me, dog. Why the screen black? There you go.
See?
Hold up. There.
Oh, guess what, Kane Nation? I just got the mess smacked out of me by Coach Hayes. Keep my Hurricanes name out your mouth.
Okay, I will.
Keep Mario Cristobal's name out your mouth. We live, cool. What's going on? What's up, K Nation? V12 in the building, man.
Oh my! What more you want from me, man? Nah, it's all good, man. Listen, hold up, man. Matter of fact, hold up. Because you ain't got your seatbelt on. Oh, you got it on. I'm finna slap you.
Come on now. I'm old school, man.
My dog got on the seatbelt. I love it.
Hey, call me Jeezy. I'm always strapped.
Hey, the whole car strapped, and we ain't talking seatbelts. Anyway. Man, that boy must be going through the booties right now. Anyway,
hey man,
real quick, man.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask you about something, man, because both of us are HBCU grads,
right?
And I think we both got caught with the April Fool, man.
Yeah.
You sent out in the group chat that North Carolina A&T was coming to the ACC. You sent that out, V12.
Yeah, no, I sent it out. Somebody sent it to me. I was like, hey, this looks kind of like something that could be possible. You know what I mean? So I was like, man. So of course I sent it. I sent it to people who I knew who know football. In our group chat. And so you say, let's take a look at it and see what's what. And that's what we did, man. But come to find out, it may be the okie doke. But man, listen, what if though? What if there was a crazy move like that? You know what I mean? I mean, that would have been huge.
That would be huge.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's not like it can't be done, but it seemed like it was a crazy April Fool's joke. But hey, man, it got me, man. Sometimes, you know what I mean? It can get you.
Listen, I was up there searching. I'm like, bruh, it's only one page I'm finding this on, and it was like that 247 sport page. I'm like, ain't nobody talking about this. Dion didn't say anything. I'm like, bro, something wrong. And here's the thing. Can I be honest? That was a lengthy article, dog, to be a joke. That was a lengthy article to be a joke, bro.
Hey, but that's why it goes to show, man. You gotta have, and I applaud you, Coach. A lot of times when you get information, you go to secondary, and you also go to other sources to kind of back up what you've been hearing or what you've been seeing. Because nowadays they say everybody's journalist. Everybody got a pen and a pad and a computer and an iPhone, so everybody is a journalist. You know what I mean? And so, I commend you for what you do. A lot of times you say, I'm not a breaking news person because you want to make sure the content that you put out is legit, man, and that's huge. You know what I mean? That's definitely huge.
Nah, it is, man. Like I said, I like to react to things more than I like to say, quote unquote, break the news. Because imagine if I'd have went on here talking about, the NCAA. I mean, the NCAA, NCA&T, North Carolina A&T finna come on to the ACC, and I'm up here talking woo woo woo. I look like a dummy in the face, man. But I do like to research things. I don't have to be the first one to say it, but I want to be. Guess what? Hey, the right information so people understand it. But anyway, Missy Goodwin said, "How you get in that group chat?"
Hey, Missy. I don't know now. About that, hey, Missy, I don't know now.
Hold on. I'm gonna say that again. Missy Goodwin said, "How'd I get in that group chat?"
Hey, Missy, I don't know now. V12 don't normally at a loss. Hey, Missy, I'm not normally at a loss for words, but I don't know now. You got to check your credentials, Missy. Like, what kind of, you got a press pass or something? We got to figure it out.
You got to figure it out. Right here, Mark Stemmer said, that ain't no Will Smith slap. That's a poor little Timmy slap. I love it, man. So listen, we having fun. Yeah. We just on here clowning, man. We had a great segment. I know you was out there on daddy duty, so I get it, man. But we had a great talk about NIL deals with a gentleman named Juan Proano from Pro Sports Digital. And he was talking about these NIL deals, the pros and the cons, a lot of things that these players are not maybe understanding or seeing. A lot of things from a fan perspective. We think everybody getting $50,000, $100,000 deals. It's a lot in there, man. So like I say, if you missed it, if you're just joining us, we got 164 in the chat. I need 160 likes at least. Come on, y'all. 160 in the building. But with all that being said, go back and rewatch that, man. It'd be awesome. In the words of the Wholesome One Holloway, #rewatch squad. Y'all go check that thing out, man. Oh, Wayne just said, yes, I see the 3 teams you put on paper. I was showing him the 3 teams I put out because everybody's talking about the 3 teams we may lose to, and it's always these same 3 teams. So it goes to show you that there's some consistency in some concern, I guess is the right way to say it, out there, man. But V12, man, the people miss you, dog. Where you been, man?
Yeah,
What's up?
man, I'm here. You know, we cranking it up. Hey, I'm like the football season. We got spring practice. I'm here with you, getting warmed up. Hey, cause we're looking forward to this season, man. And you know, I heard the previous caller, and you know, it's Cristobal is here now, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. You know, he has a lot of fanfare, a lot of hype, but he does have some chink in that armor. And I saw your 3 teams, coach, and I smiled because, you know, we spoke about 10-2 and 7-4. Hey, it's just a fine line. And I want y'all to start acting crazy because Mario is already good for at least 2 losses. We know that throughout his career. And so let's just, we have to have some kind of, I'm not going to say I don't have any expectations because I'll be wrong, right? Because we all wanted a better coach. We wanted a program to be better. I don't know if you can, depending on how the season goes, it's going to be based off of wins and losses. For me, the expectation is not the wins and the losses. Let me put it that way. The expectation is to see how the team improves from week to week and based off of last year. So yeah, if we go 10-2, whatever, 8-4, with a 7-4, whatever it may be, how have we improved? I think that's the biggest thing for me as a fan watching Mario Cristobal. Have we improved? How has the team responded to him? Are we getting better? Is the defensive situation fixed? Because again, Mario is known to put up points, but guess what? In Oregon, they give up points too. So are we gonna have that same situation at Miami during the season?
I just got one thing. I'm gonna let my man Fat Joe tell y'all.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
That's all I'm telling you. Yesterday's price is not today's price. So you telling me, V12, that 10-2 is the new 7-5? Is that what you're telling me?
Listen, based off of the Hurricane way, if we 10-2, 10-2, this college football, man. This ain't back in the day, right? To me, it's the same. To me, it's the same in a sense. But 10-2 with an improvement, I take that. You know what I mean? Because guess what? The next year we're looking for what? 0 losses or maybe 1 loss.
All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna get to this caller, V12. Hold up.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Caller, talk to us. Give us your name. Where you calling from?
It's Warren. How you doing, Coach?
All right, you out of Home Depot, man?
Yeah, I'm terribly sorry about that.
Nah, man, you're good, man. I appreciate you saying that you watching us while you walking up and down the aisles looking for a drill bit. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Listen, I got to take care of important things, but some things are even more important than that, and that's Hurricanes football. So,
yes, sir.
This show. All right, look, here's the deal, and I don't know why people can't see it for what it is. This is a psychological change in the University of Miami. We are not going to lose any games this year. That crowd is going to be so amped up for Mario's first year because everybody's excited. Anybody's got a ticket to a home game this year. They're going to see Mario maybe for the first, second, third, fifth time this year as a coach. That crowd is going to be insane. It's going to be just like every home game this year is just going to be like when we played Notre Dame at home in 2017. It's going to be like that every game. Now, we're probably going to lose 1 road game, and my guess is it's Texas A&M, but it will be less than 7 points or 7. No more than. They're not going to blow us out of the water. That ain't going to happen. We got too much talent coaching these kids. And I'll be damned. I don't know what people keep thinking about Clemson. They got a good defense. Their offense is freaking atrocious. Atrocious. Okay. The brains behind their defense is now in Oklahoma. Give me a break. Listen, I'm sorry. Now, if we were playing Oklahoma, we might take a loss because Brent Venables ain't no joke. But I ain't worried about, what's his name, Dabo Swinney. Listen, we have a new coaching staff. They got a new coaching staff. He's won a national championship. Mario hasn't. I get all that. The psychological move that by bringing Mario Cristobal in and what he's done, and you said it very early on in your show, it was very secretive about, or maybe it was another show. I don't remember. I'm mixing them all together because I watch so much of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He the staff in secret, and it's a SEAL Team 6 of coaching. I mean, let's call it what it is.
I love that. SEAL Team 6 of coaching. Ooh, that might be my next graphic, Warren. You might be. Hey, I might have to go get on my Photoshop and make that thing a SEAL Team 6. I love it.
I hope you make $1 million off of it. So I really do. I don't want any of it because I seriously, I don't. Anyways, look what he's done. It's all psychological. It's all, just like when Jimmy Johnson came in. Listen, he was a psych major. Okay, he wasn't a football coach. That's what he didn't study football. He played it and this and the other, but he was a psychology major. He taught them. He changed their brains. Once you change their brains and you get them thinking right, the rest is downhill. He right athletes and boom, boom, boom. Now Howard Schnellenberger, he had to get the athletes in there, and he's old school, legendary guy, blah blah blah, all that. But Jimmy Johnson had a monumental task to maintain or to rebuild what was falling apart. And most of his losses came in his first season. So you know what? I'm going to chalk it up. Mario may have 2 or 3 losses this year. I don't see it happening, but the bulk of his losses will come in this first season, just like Jimmy Johnson. And you guys just said a minute ago that Mario's good for 2 losses. Listen, he don't have Miami talent on there. He don't have a Miami crowd behind him. Forget all that crap. Listen, I am so damn excited over what's coming in the next 12 months. Well, whenever football season starts. I can't wait. I'm worried about A&M because it's going to be, if it's a road loss, if we're going to do a loss, it will be on the road. It will not be at home. I guarantee you that. Just look at it. Just pay attention to the psychological factor of it. You know,
hey, listen, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, look what Nick Saban does. He doesn't play. He gets into their brain and has them thinking differently, because all high school students, well, they're all athletic and this and that, they're all good. But he got the ones that he picked. You know, they have a talent this and a talent that. But he got them to all thinking collectively as a group, and they just go out and they've done it for the last decade. Now, while we're on that subject, Mario and Billy Napier have slowed the trickle out of Florida. Steve Sarkisian and Jimbo Fisher are going to slow the trickle out of Texas. And what's his face out in Southern California?
Lincoln Riley.
Riley. Listen, Nick Saban's days of ruling with an iron fist and sucking every good state dry of all their talent, them days are over. He's going to get he's going to get 5 stars. He's going to get 4 stars, but he ain't going to get the damn 5 of them from this state and 4 of them from that state and 4 of them from that. He ain't going to do that shit anymore. Those days are over. Those days are over. And it may be one more cycle. But watch what Billy Napier, because he's a good damn recruiter. And guess where he trained? Guess who his teacher was?
Who was that?
Nick Saban. I'm telling you. Listen, I'm telling you right now, within 3 years, it's going to be you look at all these guys. Mario went back home to Miami. Kirby went back home to Georgia. All these guys are going back home that were under Nick Saban. It's going to be I can't wait. And when Mel Fisher, he's going to go back to Wisconsin. It's just a matter of time. Now, my concern, and I don't know if it's a concern or for good or bad. Can you tell I'm excited? I'm sorry.
You excited? I tell you excited, man. I'm about to tell you take a deep breath, but go ahead. I love it.
I was in Jack. Listen, my mom, we had to pull a breathing tube out of my mom because she had an accident last week. So we decided to make the executive decision to pull the breathing tube, and she's still going. But it's the hospital directly across Jackson State. And I was out there and I was just looking at her. And it made me think of Deion. Deion is going to leave there, and he's going back to Florida State. You watch. When that does, the triculation of talent out of Florida is done. Between Billy Napier, Deion Sanders, and Mario Cristobal, and nobody leaving Florida. It's going to return to the good old days when, the national champion was coming out of the state of Florida, whether they were in blue and orange, green and orange, or garnet and gold. I just thought that's all there is to it. I'm telling you what I know. And Florida State's going to be on the trailing end basically because of monetary reasons. Miami, we've got tons of money because all the people down there, and it's Miami. Florida's the biggest public school. They don't have any money like that coming out of Tallahassee, and it's going to take them a few years to build it up to get back there. But when it does, it's going to happen. I can't wait. Finally shut them hillbilly Alabama crybabies up. I'm so sick and damn tired of hearing about their asses. Listen, roll turd. Roll turd.
Roll turd. Had to give you the horn for that one, baby. Good job.
I couldn't say any of this in Home Depot because I'm in Mississippi right now. I couldn't say it because I'd have been jumped. Because everybody here is an Alabama fan. Everybody here.
You said I would have been jumped. Hey, but as you was going down, Warren, you could have said, "Go Canes."
Oh, I say it all the time. I got a cane tag in front of my work truck, and then my boss said something to me about it. I'm like, really? What are you gonna do? He's like, oh man, I don't really like it. I'm like, okay, I ain't taking it off.
I love it, man. Well, Warren, you fired up today, and I love it, bro. But I got it right because we're gonna get out of here 8:45, man. But as always, I appreciate you, man. Listen, my prayers out to you and your family, your mom, man, for what you're going through. I know you've always been a big supporter of Coach Hayes football. I wouldn't, and I just listened to this the other day, believe it or not. That message you sent me, man, and that means a lot. I saved that because it was, I think, I know it was authentic, man. That meant a lot to me, bro. It really did. It really did.
Absolutely. I meant it then, and I mean it. Listen, I love your show. Keep it up, and I'll talk to you again soon, bud.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, man. Bye now. All right, I'm cutting the phone lines off. My man was fired up. Warren was fired up. You can hear it in his breath, man. He like, let me tell y'all something. The roll turds. I'm loving it. But anyway, V12, man, let's talk. You done made it in the house. You got out the Batmobile. Anyway. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So anyway, we got about 5 minutes, man. Somebody said I love this guy energy. We had some funny business in the chat. It wouldn't let me delete it. I don't know. Somebody keep talking about giving me a wrench. I got to figure out what those wrenches are for. Coach Hayes be slipping sometimes. I'm not sure what that means. But y'all let me know. Anyway, somebody said Catfish Gene says, Coach, I want to meet you in person at the spring game. Y'all gonna have to force old Coach to get down to the spring game. I might have to lie to my job and let them know I had to go to Miami to take my taxes in there because the 15th that Friday, right? And V12 already got me fired from a job, but we ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna leave that alone. You wanna know why we're gonna leave that alone? Because yesterday's
price is not today's price.
So anyway, with that being said, V12, talk to us, man. What's up?
No, I mean, I like to call his energy. Hey, listen, let me tell you this. We know Cristobal can coach. Will the fan base give him the time? That's the key issue, Coach. That's the bottom line. Will the fan base give him the time? Will the administration give him the time to get us where we need to be? I'm okay with the slow matriculation to the top, right? But we have to, as long as we're improving, it's all good. So let's just see. You know what I mean? I'm with it. You know what I mean? What's up, Mitchell? I see you, bro. I'm here. So let's just see. I'm excited as well. I can't wait for the season. I can't wait for the spring game. And let's just, of course, when it's a new coach, everybody is the same spiel, right? The energy is high. The alumni coming back. Jason Taylor is on the coaching staff. Ed Orgeron, that's his name. Orgeron's son is supposed to be interning. So we getting all quality. Charlie Strong is there. So we're not going to have many excuses, right? TVD is back. We're loaded with talent. We just have to be able to put a quality product on the field. And again, I'm an improvement guy. Let's see what happens.
I love it, man. Enough said. Like I said, I appreciate you. You know this, dog. We may jump on tomorrow, man. Tomorrow is the what? 2-year anniversary, V12. You wanna know something? You wanna know something funny? Yeah, I'm gonna show you something funny about that, man. What is that?
It's my anniversary, man. Come on, Tony. You hear my violin?
No, man.
You know what today is?
This is what I do know, though.
Why Haitian Ella that when you need her, man?
She the producer, man. She in here tripping.
Okay. What we gonna do, man?
She in here tripping. Check this out. I'm gonna hook you out right now. Hold up. Say this right here.
Maybe say I was on key. Maybe say
I didn't know what he was singing, man.
I'm trying, baby Shaq. You know, only for my dog.
That's that 1 year anniversary right there, boy. That's the 1 year anniversary show.
I was in Orlando, man. I was down
Yeah, you was in Orlando.
Down there last year, having a good time, man.
I'm trying to find out, man. We popped in bottles and everything, man. We had a good. Was you popping bottles? There you go. There we go. We popping bottles in that thing. I don't know what you was doing.
What a juicy juice at, man.
There you go. Look at him.
Look at what a juicy juice at, man. What a bubble is.
We popping that rosé. You know what I'm saying?
Pour it up.
Pour it up.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Hey, cheers, man. Hey, happy anniversary, coach.
Appreciate it, bro.
Top 3. Hey, and you go Wilson too. Hey, I know where you going. I ain't gonna tell nobody anything. I know where you going already. You part of that Wilson family. I know where you're going. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, sir.
That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, Kamari, I ain't gonna hold you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, man. Well, that was Kamari Wilson. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out. That was Kamari Wilson, man. Ended up being a Florida Gator, but he was fun, man. He actually helped kick this channel off 2 years ago. I did his 10th grade film, man, on October 4th, April 4th. Jesus Christ. April 4th, I did this video. He actually kicked it off, man. So tomorrow we may jump on, just have a little, 30 minutes, just fun with it. Just chop it up anniversary. Nothing, ain't hurricanes, ain't this. We just having fun, man. And just kicking.
You deserve your party, man. You deserve all the accolades, man. Open up the line.
God! Hey, hold up. D Nice. That way, did you look? You had jowls in that video. Jowls. God. Got to be more careful. I love you, D Nice. That's funny. That boy said you had jowls. Nah, it was the camera angle. Different
man. Yeah, man.
Hey, this camera I bought right here, I had to pay extra $50 for the slim lens.
There we go.
I paid $50 more for the slim lens. Y'all too funny, man. That's awesome, man. But anyway, we about to get up out of cane juice. That's right. We had that rosé.
All day.
I'm gonna see if I can get Rick Ross on here one day. I'm gonna go to his house.
Yeah, open the lines up, bro. So people can talk to you, man, and to celebrate you. So
yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. We're just gonna have fun and all that good stuff, man. It's all good.
Everybody call in, man. Let's chop it up with Coach, man. Hey, the man is one of the hardest working YouTubers, man. The man coach, the man do it all. You know what I mean? Hey, you let me know what football coach go live while hunting. That's all. Listen. The man take his show on the road when he on vacation. I'm gonna save all the teary-eyed stuff for tomorrow. You know what I'm talking about? So everybody, we jumping tomorrow. I want Coach to get the DJing skills ready. So we going mayhem tomorrow, right?
It's gonna be hard.
Mayhem from the All-State commercial when he did that, when he was doing that dance. That's how we gonna be like, woo, we gonna go. We
TikTok.
There we go. TikTok.
TikTok.
We gonna mayhem.
Anyway,
tomorrow.
man, it's all good. We're gonna have fun, man. We're gonna be on that long, man. As always, appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Go rewatch that NIL stuff, man. That was huge, man. Great information. We'll probably be chopping this up. Oh, something else I'm doing. Go check out Coheed Football on your podcast, regular podcast, right? Spotify. We put them on the podcast now too, man. We got to maximize this deal. So when you're working out and you can't watch the video, right? You can listen to us on the podcast, right? While Warren walking through Home Depot, buying nuts and bolts and looking for a new plumbing kit, a wrench. Guess what? Listen to it on the podcast. Anyway, we might be at the spring game. Hey, V12.
I know I ain't gonna be there, but
come on, dog. Hey,
fly in
that day.
But let's go.
Might have to fly in that day.
But trust me. You know what?
We could go live from the game, dog.
Yeah, just patch me in. It ain't happening. That spring. Come on, come on, Daddy. It ain't. I already know. Hey, you talking about you getting fired? You want to get me booted out, do you? I ain't gonna have no place to go live from.
Man, you always got a spot right here, dog. Got a little corner right there by the closet, dog. You always got a spot.
Ain't nowhere to go live. Hey, listen, you get down there. Let's go.
Somebody said, what time tomorrow? I really don't know. We just thinking about it, man. Hit the notification bell. Hit the subscribe button. Hopefully to do it. It'll be something in the evening. I know hosts will go on like 8:30 or something. So I ain't going to step on his toes. We might jump on it like 7, something like that, 7:15. I don't know. That too early?
Yeah. Let's go late, man. Let's go late. Let's put the kids to bed, man. Let's go late, man. I mean, not too late. Maybe like after Wholesome, maybe. I mean, let me know.
Man, Wholesome be on like 4-hour time. I might have to holler at Wholesome. I call him. Wholesome be doing 4-hour podcast, dog. So I'm gonna see. I may do it after him. So yeah, we may go late night Monday, man. Late night. We may be up there at 9, 10 o'clock, man. I don't know. Who knows? Ain't no need to go early.
Or do it earlier. You know, if you want to do it around 5.
Nah, man. Ain't nobody there, man. People still at work, man. People still mad at their boss.
And there you go.
All right, we'll do it later, man. Just check it out. Stay tuned. Follow me on Twitter. I'll post it on Twitter or something like that. Other than that, man, we good to go. Appreciate you. As always, we don't even have no exit music, man. Coach got to tighten up, man.
It's all good. Nice. Hey, man, nice being back on. Can't wait to be back on again and wait for the season. We're looking forward to it.
Spring game. Y'all going to have me come to the crib for the spring game, boy.
Hey, but then you can see everything with your own eyes, bro. That's the best thing. You can give some of your, analysis of what you see, instead of getting it, secondhand from other people and also getting it from Streeter. You know what I mean? Because Streeter getting it from Streeter, and sometimes Streeter be off a little bit. You know what I mean? Because he told him, Mr. Mark, get out of Streeter, Mr. Mark on that Will Smith. But we'll talk to him about it.
Hey, he might have been right. We're gonna talk about that. We out here, man. T-Hines in the building. That right there, that's when I know it's time to go. When T-Hines hit the green and orange hearts, that means it's time to dip. Shut up talking. That's my cue. That's the Oscars playing the slow music. Yeah. That means start wrapping it up, man. So with that being said, we out of here, dog. Peace, love, and hair grease. I love y'all, man. And we'll catch up, man. As always, holla at you.